back to Baus for Tabla. Looking to go out wide. Dos Santos and Ensa closing down before Alaman can find the loose ball. Now Howard.
You ain't by that fast life, 100 on the dash with the cash light. You ain't by that fast life, big dog status with your stats like. You ain't by that fast life, just know 100 duffers at the bag price. You ain't by that fast life, 6 speed, yeah I'm smashing on the gas.
The band is back together. In 6 days, the Canadian men begin their World Cup campaign. But first, one more friendly to put the finishing touches on their preparation. They take on fellow World Cup-bound Japan, ranked 24th in the world. Will John Herdman tip his hand and show us how he'll line up against Belgium, or will he keep his cards close to his chest and hope they get through the match unscathed? Let's find out. You're watching Canada Soccer's national teams presented by CIBC right here on One Soccer. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside our studios. It's Match Day Live. Andy Petrillo alongside Jordan Wilson and Oliver Platt. Can you believe how time flies, gentlemen? It was March 2021. That's when the Canadians began their World Cup campaign. They end up finishing first in CONCACAF. They end up qualifying for their first World Cup in 36 years. And now they're less than a week away from kicking off against Belgium. But yes, taking on Japan here, some notes. No Alphonso Davies. He's still with Bayern Munich, rehabbing the hamstring, hoping to be ready for that game against Belgium. Kamal Miller, who pulled up in that game against Bahrain, he's good to go. And Stefan Eustaquio, he pulled up in training the other day, so he's on the bench for today. But John Herdman being cautious with his star in the midfield. But let's take a look at this game against Japan, Jordan, because in the other friendlies, we've always said, Ollie's been the guy who's been saying this a lot, you know, the result doesn't really matter here. It's the process. How do you fare against these teams? But in a final game, before you begin the World Cup, does the result matter here against Japan?
Oh, it matters.
Finally, someone says it.
It matters.
That's the difference between a player and me sitting on the couch saying, oh, it's all about the process.
Oh, it matters. I believe it was about the process before. But I think going into this game now, we've missed 8 World Cups. I did the math, Andy.
Okay.
Right? We've missed 8. 36 years it's been, but now's the time. Now we're here. The hardest thing for a football player is to be like, okay, well, this game I'm going to turn it on, right? You save yourself. Now's the time. You're a week away from playing Belgium when it matters. This game matters. We got to go into it with all that we have. And people are talking about, oh, well, maybe you save a bit because you don't want to get injured. That's the time you get injured, when you kind of go half-hearted into tackles, or you don't really prepare the same way. You're thinking about next week. Right now, today is a game where you got to go and give all that you have.
Yeah, I think it matters in so much as it tells us something about the big question that we all want answered here, right? Which is Canada ready? You know, can they compete at this World Cup? And, you know, we've seen this team come through qualifying with incredible momentum. They've written an incredible story. But that now seems like it was a little bit of a long time ago, right? And they've got to rebuild that momentum and start a new chapter here. And so you've got, you know, your best player's not here today. Your captain, we're not sure about his fitness. He starts today. Eustaquio can't play today, and we're a little bit iffy on his status. So all of a sudden, you've got these questions being asked about this team that, you know, had this incredible momentum and now has to restart and rebuild it.
I will say that we want a great result, but I feel like it's about the performance as well. That's the biggest thing, right? You want guys to feel comfortable and get their legs under them, but you can't go in with the mentality like, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter if we don't win this game. You got to go and try to win.
Yeah, and now is also that you really are starting to feel, I know even speaking to some of the players at the roster reveal, they know it's go time now, and that was one of the things that John Herdman had said. They had such an incredible qualification. They had such a high that it's only natural there's a wee bit of dip. You just come down from that emotional high. Now it's about getting it back. Let's take a look at Canada's starting 11, brought to you by GE. You did say Atiba Hutchinson. He is in the lineup. He's gotten a few minutes under his belt with Besiktas, but they did have their last game canceled as well. So he doesn't have a lot of minutes. We'll see how he looks here against Japan. Borjan, no surprise, getting the start there as you take a look at the lineup. But let's begin up top there with Kyle Larin, because this is another player, Ollie, we've been saying hasn't been getting a lot of minutes with Club Brugge. When he's played, majority of the times he's also come off the bench. Are you concerned at all, or are you just curious to see how he's going to look here?
Yeah, well, if we can just leave this up a second, I think, oh no, we're going to go see some Kyle Larin. That's okay. I was too slow. But I think there's really 3 big decisions with this lineup that John Herdman has to make. We'll get to the midfield, we'll get to the right wing-back position as well. Then there's Kyle Larin, and this, I think, is a really interesting example of the debate that we have, you know, in terms of club form versus international form, and a player who's proven at the international level. We're seeing the goals here that he scored in qualifying. We're seeing how important he's been to Canada. He's proven himself over and over and over again in the Canada jersey, but he's not playing so much for his club right now. So what do you weigh up more, right? Do you weigh up what he's done for Canada in the past, or do you weigh up his current form for his club? And that, I think, is an interesting selection decision when you talk about accommodating all those forwards.
Well, if you look at his form with the national team, again, in that September window, though, going up against Qatar, he scores the goal. He's already the leading goal scorer for the Canadian men. That was goal number 25. So if he looks good here today, you imagine John Herdman's not going to have any issues starting him when it comes to Belgium. But Atiba Hutchinson, this is the big question. How is he going to look? Can he go the full 90? He's already a little bit up there in age. In fact, if he plays, and we know he will play at the World Cup, he will become the 2nd oldest field player to have ever played at the World Cup. Roger Mila of Cameroon did so at the age of 42. But what do you want to see from him today?
What he always brings, his leadership. I just want to see how sharp he looks. I have over 550 reasons why you play Atiba Hutchinson. That's just based off of his appearances, his past 20 years.
Each one, and the pre-game show will be done.
Past 20 years in European football. When you see him play, the poise that he has, the way he conducts himself on the ball, you're looking at younger players that are playing around him. You look at Atiba and he's just going to be calm. You need that presence, especially now not having Eustaquio, who's, for me, probably one of the most important players in the midfield. You need Atiba right there to just weather the storm and calm things down. Question
is he fit, right? How far can he go? What intensity can he play at? He has not played a lot, but I agree that the knowledge, the experience that's there, it's hard to look past.
Where's a battle happening, though, on the pitch?
Wing back, I think. There's different options there, right? You can move Tajon Buchanan back there, which allows you to get Kyle Larin in the team like we just talked about. But then you see Junior Hoylett emerging at this position. He's playing there every week for his club, Reading in the Championship. He's the one who's kind of, again, when you talk about that club form, he's in the best state right now. And then you have the guy who did it all in qualifying, Richie Larea, right? Who's come into this team and been a real difference maker. But again, some concerns about the club form because he's gone back to Toronto FC, not been at his best, and then obviously hasn't played since mid-October, or early October. So that's one where I think there's there's a real question mark for John Herdman in terms of who fills that spot.
I agree with you, Ollie. I would like to see Tajon Buchanan just as kind of the difference maker higher up the pitch. Like, I know wing-back position is very important. You're bombing forward. I know that he's developed really well playing there with Club Brugge. But right now, it would be nice to have him maybe, I know you wouldn't love to hear this, but coming off the bench maybe in the 55th, 60th minute when the game's a bit settled, and just coming with his raw pace and giving those step-overs and just creating a bit of magic. I'd love to see that from him.
Well, hey, Herdman has said these aren't bench players, they're impact players. You bring them in afterwards because there is a tactic. Yeah, finishers, but you're right, there are some decisions to be made there because you know right away on that left side, Davies is going to be going in. I always felt there's been a little bit of a question when it comes to that right side. That has been Buchanan, but Junior Hoilett's looks so good as well, and we're going to see him as well in this starting 11. Let's take a look at Japan's starting 11, brought to you by GE. This is a team that's ranked 24th in the world. This is a team that also gave, if we're going to look ahead to Canada, you know, taking on Belgium, they gave Belgium a run for their money at the last World Cup round of 16. They were already up 2-0 on them, and in fact, Belgium became the first country at a World Cup in a knockout game to come back from 2 or more goals down to come and win it, because Belgium did ultimately win it. But what challenge do they pose, a team that's ranked pretty high in the world? Morocco, by the way, sorry to interrupt, but Morocco's ranked 22nd, and that's who's in Canada's group, so.
Yeah, it's just the way they play. Like, Ollie and I are looking over the time they played the U.S., and they're just busy. Bodies flying forward.
Yeah. You see it on the second clip here on the opposite side of the pitch. Again, watch the winger. Gets really tight to the fullback. This time they're not even going to try that pass because he's too tight, so they go into the middle instead. But that's a really dangerous passing lane to play through right there if you don't get it right. Again, it's picked off, and they go on the counter-attack. Then you see the Japan goal here. Weston McKennie in midfield is going to be guilty of a really sloppy turnover. But again, look at the pressure that comes. As soon as this ball comes to him in midfield, again, the Japan midfielder is straight on him really quickly, and they have so much pace and energy to play in transition. And then you see this one. This is a bit of a longer clip because I wanted to show you this. Firstly, they're in their defensive shape in a 4-4-2. They're going to just hassle kind of team, Jordan.
Great players become average when you have that pressure, that constant pressure. Someone just feel like you're breathing down your neck. You can't really get your first touch settled. I also believe that Herdman had this game in place because this is the type of tempo that they're going to see. They're not going to have, Canada's not going to have time on the ball like they normally do when they're playing in the CONCACAF. Going to this tournament, you really have to take that time to be sharp, get the ball, move it, and be quick. So I feel like this game and playing Japan is a perfect test for them.
There's no such thing as settling into a game, especially when the World Cup starts and when you're taking on Japan. That's the opponent for Canada. Let's get this gentleman's view on this match and also what he believes Canada will do at the World Cup as we bring in former Canadian international Patrice Bernier. Welcome to the show, my friend. It's Canada versus Japan. What do you want to see in this match? What are you keeping your eye on?
Thanks again for having me. But yeah, definitely what you want to see in this game is the connections, the synchronization of the team against Uruguay. Even though they took a bad result, they still were playing well. The principles of play to get those connections, because we saw against the game against Bahrain, it was MLS players mostly, but you could see it wasn't as fine-tuned as when Herdman has his best 11 or the premier players that he wants in that 11. So it's to connect, to get that confidence back, to get that groove heading into the World Cup. Like, I agree from what I heard you guys, the mindset has to be, you have to come out there where your mindset is great. You believe you can go out there and beat anybody, as they did during CONCACAF and as they've been feeling all the way up till these friendlies.
Well, the belief is there. And to your point about Uruguay, even though they dropped that one 2-0, it was 2 mistakes. They've all said we just slept on that one moment, they capitalized. Another moment, they capitalized. And we can't do that. So you know that's going to be something Herdman's preaching to them, saying, hey, we could have had a result against Uruguay, just like we can get a result here. To your point, let's keep the cohesiveness, and you have to be dialed in for 90 minutes. And you know, Patrice, going into the World Cup, they're still the underdogs, right? Like, who's kidding who? CONCACAF, it was a brilliant qualification for them, but a lot of people are not pegging them to exit the group. A lot of people are actually thinking that they're going to lose in spectacular ways. But what are you feeling about Canada and their chances at the World Cup?
Look, it's definitely normal that people do not see them, because just take the example is Belgium is very highly ranked, usually always there, contender and probably one of the challengers to the title. Croatia was in the final. not last World Cup, and Morocco has the experience of being at World Cups, while Canada hasn't been there since 1986. Yet, the factor is they're an underdog, but they do have players that in the world of soccer, most of those countries will respect tremendously. Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, they know these guys play at a high level and can create something offensively and be dangerous. So I'm pretty sure Belgium, Croatia, and Morocco are not taking Canada lightly. But I believe they can surprise because they have firepower on transition. They're going to be playing against teams that probably will be better or have more of the possession. So the qualities of Canada, which is athleticism, speed, and able to keep the ball once they can, will be a factor. And watch out, Belgium or Croatia, they are good, but you could be surprised. You make one mistake, Canada can go at you. They showed against Uruguay that they can create chances. They just have to be efficient and cynical in front of goal, which meaning that they're not going to get as many chances as they had in CONCACAF.
Hey, at the end of the day, they got a ticket to the dance, Patrice. Enjoy the World Cup and always appreciate your insight here on One Soccer. And during the entire World Cup, by the way, join us 9 p.m. Eastern nightly for Good Night Qatar. We will take a look at the World Cup games that were played that day. We will be covering the top Canadian stories, how Canada fared, look ahead as well. So be sure to join us nightly, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on One Soccer. We'll continue to take a look at Canada and preparing for the game against Japan, but also what will it mean for them if Alphonso Davies cannot go in that first game against Belgium, their superstar. Stay with us on Matchday Live.
We're used to labels. Apologetic. Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3, red!
But screw labels. No more being polite. No more sugarcoating. Because we're labelless and limitless. Oat Canada, the official plant protein partner of Canada Soccer.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates and analysis, and all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
Fun. Intelligence. Drive. They run in the family. Corolla.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
Alphonso Davies, who just recently turned 22, is the face of the Canadian men's national team. He's also the most recognizable face internationally, playing for Bayern Munich. He's a league champion. He's a Champions League winner. And despite missing quite a few games during qualification because of injury, he still had an impact. And who could forget that great goal against Panama at BMO Field in Toronto? But he is not with the team yet. As we welcome you back inside our One Soccer studio, you continue to watch Matchday Live presented by CIBC. Andy, Jordan, and Ollie with you. We know that about a week and a half ago now, almost 2 weeks, he pulled up in a game with Bayern, clutching his hamstring. They came out and said, it's not as bad as you think. He will miss the next 2 games for Bayern, but his World Cup will not be in jeopardy. But I think the key here, Ollie, is even though Bayern said World Cup not in jeopardy, they didn't say the start is not in jeopardy. So John Herdman saying, we opted to keep him with Bayern. That's the best environment for him to be in to rehab. But what happens if he's not available in that crucial game against Belgium?
Well, firstly, we should say it is sounding touch and go for Belgium. It's sounding like they'll try to get him back in the group after this game. I think he's a little behind schedule, not a lot, so don't be too alarmed by that, but he's not sprinted yet. Maybe he'll do that today. So we'll wait and see. But I think in terms of what they do, I don't think it changes too much. I think you go with Buchanan, David, and Laren up front, Jordan. So I don't think tactically it's too complicated. It's just what you lose, right? It's the biggest difference maker in the team, the guy that is going to be the biggest fear factor for any opponent, even an opponent as strong as Belgium, is going to look at Alphonso Davies and see a world-class player who can hurt them.
Sometimes a player like Davies, his biggest use as well is a distraction. You know what I mean? Someone that you're always watching. So our format for Canada still has to be the same, and you're probably going to see glimpses of that today. I'd venture to guess 8 of those guys are going to be playing next Wednesday against Belgium. But Alphonso just brings something that every other team they're watching, waiting to see what he's going to do. They're just watching him when they break for transition, which also allows other players to be free and just free up roles. So if he can't go from the beginning, it'll be a huge loss. But the boys have rallied together before during qualification. It's just a different gravy going into the World Cup, right? Better opponents. It's also such a tough group. But I'm an optimist, so I'm going to say the boys are going to pull through.
But that is what they can draw on, the fact that they did miss him for quite a few games in qualification and still managed to get the job done. And to your point, I feel it was just a year ago around this time. In fact, I think it was a year ago yesterday where we were celebrating their win in Edmonton and the Atiba leap into the snowbank. But the games against Costa Rica and Mexico, you could see how they were paying attention to him. Yeah. He may not have had the best games, but that's okay because everyone was tag teaming him and it opened up the rest of the team. But then you look at that game against Uruguay in September, and he was causing all kinds of noise in front of goal. So you want him in your lineup more than you don't, but to your point in qualification, the team has shown what they can do. They are prepared. They feel they're ready to go. They give a lot of credit to John Herdman. They know what it means to put that kit on and represent Canada at the World Cup for the first time in 36 years.
I think we've been prepared since day one. Each day there's more things to work on, more time to close those gaps, and just to make sure that we bring our A game. We have over the past 4 years. I mean, the process of this team has just been going up even more. We've had individuals, shining in Europe, and just bringing that towards playing for Canada is something great. But yeah, I mean, it's just a proud moment for all of us here, and I think we have what it takes to compete with world-class teams.
Yeah, I think the confidence definitely came from within the group, but also John definitely ignited something that, I think was pretty dormant for a long time within the national team. So he brought us together. He made us very clear on what we needed to do, and everyone bought in. And just throughout our journey, you could see different moments in games that really told a story of how we were going to get to the World Cup. So yeah, we knew we wanted to qualify first in CONCACAF, and we did that. And now we're here on the world stage, and we want to make a statement and let everyone know that Canada is a footballing country.
It's really about, just living in the moment, being very present. We're going to understand that we are underdogs, but we also understand that there's some negatives that can come with that. And, you can potentially overlook yourselves and believe that, maybe we don't belong here. But John has been very good at honing in on that and understanding that we need to take the positives from the underdog story to believe that, we do belong and that anything's possible, while also watching out for those other, potential negative things that could seep in.
And we've been underdogs since the beginning of qualification, and, that's something that, that helps us. It pushes us. So, yeah, the underdog kind of title or mentality it's what's going to get us through. It's what's going to push us, and yeah, I see it being no different now that we're here at the World Cup.
We have our enjoyment here, coming to the hotel, seeing the facilities, all that stuff, and then it's back to work and back to business, and hopefully we can do something special here with this group.
It's going to be new for us. This is our first time at a men's World Cup, and a lot of learning to do, but we're going to embrace it.
Well, who better to lead them than John Herdman, who does have Olympic and World Cup experience with the Canadian women and knows what it feels like to stand on the podium as well. But here's a look at Canada's schedule. First up, Belgium, followed by Croatia, November 27. And then on December 1st, they will round out their group stage action when they take on Morocco. Well, I mentioned this all began in March of 2021, and people do forget that the home games for Canada, well, they weren't even on Canadian soil. Travel restrictions because of COVID, and then they went to countries where they had to play where there was political unrest. But the Canadians overcame the odds. They qualified. They finished first in CONCACAF. And to look back on that incredible run and how they were able to do great things on the pitch, let's go to the big board with Ollie and Jordan.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, it was a magical run, and me and Jordan are optimists, as we say. So we wanted to take a look back at some of those key moments and why this team, even against the highest standard of opposition, Jordan, is a legitimate threat in attack. And we shouldn't forget that they can hurt teams. We've seen it against teams like Mexico and the United States. Hopefully, we're going to see it again in this World Cup. So let's start at one of the toughest places, maybe the toughest place Canada had to go, the Estadio Azteca, Jonathan Osorio's equalizer. What do you like about this goal, and what does it show us about Canada's threat?
I like that, first, any kid watching at home, checking his shoulder, right? Just class in terms of knowing the space, knowing the area around him. And you got to make runs forward, right? Jonathan Osorio is so good at doing this for TFC, but also you can see how he does it for his home country, or his country for Canada, right? Doesn't give up on the run. He kind of runs offside, stays onside, making sure he's open and available, finish it with the weak foot. We have options going forward like never before, and this is such a big goal for him to score.
What I loved about that one as well was when Alphonso Davies gets the ball, there's like 8 players, all eyes on him.
Exactly.
Right? And again, it's that distraction we talked about with Alphonso. Anyway, let's get to this one in Hamilton against the United States. This one, for me, just shows the potential of David and Larin together as a combination, and the combinations and relationships that Canada have built. You see a 2-man strike partnership. They draw players in. Very, very tight space there, but they've got the quality to play through it. And when there's a tight space in one place, it means there's open space in somewhere else. In this case, it's the best real estate on the pitch, in behind the defensive line. Clinical finish from Kyle Larin, showing that an old-fashioned front two, there's still a place in the game for that.
We talked about it, a little bit of Dwight York, Andy Cole. I'm not a Manchester United fan by any means, but Wheels will probably like that reference. But in terms of just a body that you have to pay attention to with Kyle Larin, and I really hope David and Larin, they have that little partnership. And because what I like about them, they don't really care who scores, just the matter that they do score. Also here, just another way of we can attack. We have so much pace, Canada, right? Going in behind, right here. What a tough ball. A chest header. I don't know how many times I've done that in my career, but David, he comes with so much class, able to chip the keeper. But we have guys who can go forward, right? Guys who, like Buchanan, David, Larin, who are just tough to deal with one-on-one. So if we can attack the spaces behind, it could be a field day for us in many ways. 8
Honduras players there just taken out of the game in an instant. Canada can go at you that quickly. We see it a little bit here as well on the counter-attack, but I want to focus on Atiba Hutchinson here because we all know how this goal ended. It was a hilarious finish. But look at Atiba. From that deep position in midfield, he's going to make it all the way up the pitch. The 65th minute of the match. See him here, motoring again. This is a guy, obviously, in the last stages of his career now, showing that kind of energy. My big question, Jordan, as that one ends up in the back of the net somehow, does this get tougher when you're on a World Cup pitch against Belgium? You're putting so much energy into defending and making sure you're doing all your jobs, all your responsibilities there. Are Canada going to have players at the physical level to still be able to do those things in transition on the counter-attack when they get their chance?
It's tough because as a midfielder, the 65th minute when you've just been defending and you don't have the ball a lot, the thing that you will sacrifice is going forward, making that 60-yard run. Like, is it worth it at that point? But yeah, we just gotta stick with it and see what can happen. We can accept we're not gonna have the ball a lot, but we still have those guys that we can play in behind that could just be that spark and be that difference for Canada.
Yeah, and it's going to take something special for Canada to get results, to get out of this group. So they're going to need more moments like that, Andy, when the real thing comes just in a few days' time against Belgium.
And more goals like that, too, from Atiba Hutchinson. They don't have to be pretty, just as long as they find the back of the net, right? Although this guy Tejan might have something to say about that. He likes scoring pretty goals and then following up with a backflip. We're getting you ready for Canada versus Japan, the final friendly before it all begins for real in Qatar.
This match is brought to you by CIBC, Canada Soccer's lead partner.
the 2022 Canadian Championship Final.
No words, man, no words. Dreams come true.
Welcome on in to our One Soccer studios. You are watching One Soccer today.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of Ultimate Chicken Sausages and Ultimate Chicken Hot Dogs. Choose Ultimate, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
I do this for my town, my time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
We created Carlsberg 00 because even the best things can be better with alcohol-free beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
In Dubai, the Canadian men won last friendly, taking on Japan before kickoff November 23rd against Belgium. You're watching Canada's soccer's national teams presented by CIBC right here on One Soccer. Whew, she's a steamy one already. We know that they've moved the World Cup to November because of the heat in the summer, but it is still hot in Qatar, although they've been told, the players, when I asked Stefan Eustaquio, we'll talk about him in just a second, how they've been preparing for the heat. He goes, actually, we've been told to bring blankets inside because the AC is going to be pumping so much inside the stadium. They might actually be cold sitting on the sidelines. Andy, Jordan, Ollie here with you. So Japan, this is who they're taking on, 24th in the world. How do they prepare them, Ollie, for what they're going to face in their group?
Well, the big thing I'm looking for today with Canada is just don't beat yourselves, right? Stop making mistakes. And I think that's crept in a little bit in the last 2 or 3 games. It's been sloppier than we used to with Canada. You know, turnovers out of the back, you know, little things in midfields. That I think has to be cleaned up. This is go time now. You know, you need to lock in. You need to cut those mistakes out of your game. Understand that teams like Belgium and Croatia, they're going to create chances, right? They're going to have good moments. There's no stopping the quality of players they've got. You're going to need some luck. You're going to need Milan Bojan to be brilliant at this tournament. But don't beat yourselves. Don't give it to them, right, with sloppy moments, sloppy play that I think, like I said, has just crept in a little bit. So I'm really looking for the team today against the Japan team. We showed how they harass you, how they press you. You know, they've got to show real quality and real composure to play around that.
I agree with you, Ollie. I think as well, Japan going into this game, their ball retention and just the energy that they bring is just something that you're going to see replicated when we play Belgium, when we play Croatia, when we play Morocco. These are guys that are going to keep the ball, that are just going to work you. Maybe not to the same degree that Japan does, because I think they're just relentless defensively. But the tempo in which, controlling the temperature of the game, in terms of if you're getting the ball, you don't have a lot of time to get rid of it. So just being quick, and we can't have situations where, not to throw anyone on the bus, but maybe Joel Waterman giving the ball to Marc-Anthony Kaye last game, where it's just a bit sloppy. A little, you know, a little bit too much in front of him. But sometimes what you also get in matches like these, when the stakes are high and you know your opponents are that great, you know that you can't afford to do that, so you play at a higher level. You know, you're just moving better, you're moving swifter. You know that if a team's going to punish you on any mistake you make, that you're just playing at a better and higher frequency.
Just quickly as well, Japan may provoke a lot of turnovers and chances that way. They're not as clinical as Belgium and Croatia are. So it's going to be even more heightened when you get into those games. If you make a mistake, they're probably going to punish you. Japan might not do that as much, but they will provoke you into the errors, and you'll get an example or an idea if Canada are a bit prone in that area today.
After the roster reveal, I had a chance to speak with John Herdman, and I said, you know, is there a sense of relief now? You've named your 26, now you just focus on the World Cup. And he said, absolutely not. The relief will come once we kick off against Belgium and everyone's healthy. And then what do you know? Stefan Eustaquio pulls up yesterday, Ollie, in training. He's on the bench here today. I don't know if we're going to see him. We're speculating, but you do have to be prepared. What if he's not ready to go?
Well, it's a big problem if he's not ready to go. I think he will be. I don't think he'll play today, and that will be just the precaution they take to get him ready for Belgium. It sounds like as long as nothing else goes wrong, there's no setbacks, he will be okay for that Belgium game, but it's a loss that Canada cannot afford, right? You know, in terms of Davies is obviously the other one. Those are the two players that, if they're not there in any capacity, it just massively hurts this team's chances of even causing what's already an unlikely result against these top teams.
Davies is an X factor, right? The guy we talked about, the distraction. But for me, maybe being a midfielder myself, I'm impartial to it, but Eustaquio is he's the conductor, right? He's the 6, he's the 8, and the 10. He's all that complete, right? He's the one to pick passes, keep the tempo of the game going, the temperature as well. He gets stuck in on tackles. So for me, I know it's Eustaquio and someone else playing in the midfield. It would be really great with Hutchinson as well, but he's a guy he's a staple. I don't go past 3 players without saying Eustaquio to start.
Yeah. The word is maestro.
Oh.
That's the word you're looking for.
Not maestro.
Not maestro. It's not Maestro Fresh West. It's maestro.
Maestro.
But Eustaquio on the bench here today. One more game to go before it starts for real. There are Canadian fans in attendance. Hey, there's one thing you have to give Canadians credit for. They travel well to support their sports teams. Canada versus Japan. Kickoff is next here on One Soccer.
Canada's men's national team on One Soccer is brought to you by the Toyota Corolla family.
Fun. Intelligence. Drive. They run in the family. Corolla.
New degree advanced. First ever 72-hour nonstop protection with motion sense. Tested to the limit and proven.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
72-hour nonstop protection however much you move.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
Think you've seen tough? You've seen nothing. When you're absolutely drenched and still take the final shot? Not even a challenge. Playing extra time under the beating hot sun. Hardly sweating. When the wind's so chilling it cuts to the bone, now we're getting somewhere. Playing in Canada's tough. We're not sorry about it. Want to beat us? Come on. We're made for this.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
One more match before the bright lights and the world's biggest stage await after 36 years. And one more significant test for what's ahead. Are Canada ready? Are they ready to step up and step on to the world's biggest sporting stage? The pressure that comes along with it, with unprecedented attention as well as newfound expectation on what Canada is, and great intrigue on whether Canada has what it takes to shock the world in Qatar. One more before that 36-year wait comes to an end. The final dress rehearsal is about to take place right here at Al Maktoum Stadium in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, a place renowned for its modern stylings and desire to continually strive to build bigger and better. It's fitting as Canada's opponent today shares similar characteristics on the field as they face Japan, a fixture at recent World Cups, who represent another step up in competition for Canada, bringing high intensity and a supremely organized and modern footballing style to this fixture today. An appropriate test for a Canadian side needing to test their limits. That test will come from this opponent, as well as the conditions. It's hot. No climate-controlled outdoor stadiums yet. Those are to come next week, but instead, 31-degree temperatures. and heat not experienced by most in the group before. Whether the temperature or the samurai blue, can Canada stay cool under the pressure and what would be an eye-catching result if they can succeed here today?
Good morning, YouTube. This is a drastic change from what you just saw. The polish of the studio to the One Soccer digital set. I am literally just in behind, tucked into a corner. I can see Oliver Platt and Andy Petrillo on the couch right there. We are live in the studio for this watch along. As you can tell, the game is not on. That is because you have to pay for One Soccer, and that is a good thing. You want things that you want to enjoy, you must pay for it. So you're not going to see the broadcast here. This is more of your second screen background tab listening commentary that is a little bit different than Gareth Wheeler and the polish that you're going to get on One Soccer, but this is going to be more instant reaction, engagement with the chat, etc. As you can see, I'm dressed for the occasion. It is an early morning here in the One Soccer digital studio. This is Armin. He is going to help run everything behind the scenes. He is also the main man behind One Soccer digital everything, and he's just going to be helping us out, watching the chat, etc. Andy Petrillo and Oliver Platt, they're going to be walking back and forth. You might see me turn my head and speak to people at times. They might even walk in. You're going to have to see the cameras here. That's right up the nose. There's Andy. What are those? I think that's the... Well, I saw you wearing your cheetah pumps, so I had to try and upstage you in the reverse fashion. Where are they, Petrillo? There they are. That's it. That's it. This is the behind-the-scenes content that you are going to get on the One Soccer digital feed. Listen, this is our first run at the digital watch-along set that we are going to do for every single match of Canada in the World Cup. So if you want a place for a second tab, just a little bit different, come hang out with me. My name, of course, is Adam Jenkins. So happy to have you along with us. I'll be looking at the chat throughout the broadcast. I'll be watching the game along with you. If you see me looking over here, I'm not ignoring you. I'm simply just watching the stream. Let's do a bit of a roll call. Let's see where people are watching. I got the chat right up to my left. Goodbye, yes, boo, that's fine. See, again, you're not going to go to the beer store and just be handed a 2-for. You're not going to go to Starbucks and they're not just going to give you your coffee for free. You have to pay for it, guys. That's why we're here, to offer you something a little bit different. I will show you as well what things are going to look like. As you can see directly underneath me, that is going to be our live monitor. You can keep up with the live stats, the action on that sense, and it will show you what's happening as the game progresses. If you're familiar with JJD TV, Josh Deming, who does fantastic stuff for us at One Soccer as well, this sort of watch-along setup will be something that you are relatively familiar with. So here, example, the game kicks off and it will go through from there. We are not perfectly in sync. This is live from the stadium. We have a bit of a delay on the digital side, just how it works. So at least when there's a goal, you can come and you'll see the reaction as soon as it comes in. It is Canada, it is Japan, it is everything gearing up for the World Cup that is so close. Canada and Belgium just a few short days away. We are in it. Again, if you're looking for the broadcast, you're not going to find it here. That's on watch.onesoccer.ca or the One Soccer app with Jimmy Brennan and Gareth Wheeler. We also have commentary in French for those who might be interested, and that is Matthew Cullen on the call. We have Canada wearing their reds today. Japan, they have the white shorts, the blue shirts, the blue socks, and looks like yellow numbers on the back of their shirt. They are coming in off of a draw with Ecuador. I was a bit surprised to not see Daniel Schmidt get the start for Japan today. He saved a penalty in the dying minutes of that game to help them preserve that draw. They are on really good form. They are certainly one of the giants in the Asian Football Confederation, second right now in that confederation, trailing only Iran. This is a mostly healthy Canadian setup today. Of course, Alphonso Davies, everyone is wondering when they will see Fonzie come back. And look, he's still with Bayern. They decided to keep him there instead of traveling him around. They know that they have world-class, top-of-the-line rehab and physio there, so there's no harm in keeping him where he's comfortable, knowing that they're going to get him ready with a firm deadline that Canada has already set with Fonzie. So as soon as he's available to join the team, he will come in. A couple of knocks for Canada as well coming into this camp, and you see Stefan Eustaquio not being involved today, which is fair. It's a friendly at the end of the day, as much as Canada wants to do well with this. And you know Stefan is going to be key when it comes to the Belgian match. 3-4-3 today for the Canadians. Excited to see if Kyle Larin can have a big game. I love the comment. We want to see the game and not your face. If you only knew how many times I got that comment just as a regular thing. Kamal Miller.
Are they wrong though?
They're not wrong. Absolutely, they're not wrong. I'd want to see the game and not my face too. But we've already explained to people that how you get the game is you go to watch.onesoccer.ca. Sammy Piat, expecting big things from him today, especially with no Eustaquio. Good ball over the top. Johnston, I think, is going to be a very busy boy, not just today, but for the World Cup. I think of all the Canadians who are in for a big move, Jonathan David definitely gets a piece of that, but you think about players that have a really high ceiling and can impress. Perhaps you don't see a ton of Major League Soccer if you're a scout from outside, then Alistair Johnston's the kind of player you're certainly looking at.
What are you drinking, Jenks?
This is just black coffee. This is just black in the Canada mug. No, I do not go for the milk and sugar anymore. If this was a uni thing, I would be like Red Bulls and Amps. Not anymore. Yeah. I'm 26 now, and as that means I'm an old man, and it goes right to my hips, Armin.
Yeah, the old man robes.
The old man robes. That's why I brought it in today. This is just comfort at its finest. I got Ao Tanaka, one of the 7 Bundesliga-based players. It's an even split for Japan. They have 7 German-based players, 7 in the Bundesliga. They have an 8th that plays in the German second flight, and then, of course, as you'd expect, 7 that come from either the J1 or J2 leagues. Chat, where are we watching from today?
Japan's kind of a sneaky, good team.
Oh, yeah. They're the type of team that is the perfect friendly just before a World Cup. You don't see them a ton. They're just so technical, very good on the ball, very quick. Johnson already getting stretched on that right side. Bombastic Bushkin, Belgian midfield, is one of the best. Can't disagree. And it's not a big drop-off from Croatia either, who will be unbelievable in midfield. De Bruyne is still the best midfielder in the world for me. Interesting shout from Gareth yesterday, too, on One Soccer Today about players you really want to see have a good game is Kyle Larin. Club form hasn't been the best for Kyle.
For sure.
Every time he throws on this shirt, though, you know he's ready to deliver.
Yeah, I think the thing that Laren's probably getting the most confidence from is the fact that he's kind of done this before, where he'll go for a few games, few weeks with Besiktas where he's just not scoring, and then he joins Canada camp and just bangs them in.
Yeah.
Like, there's reason to be confident that Laren will be okay.
That's as close as he's had on a perfect little vertical run. You'll see that Japanese center back cheat a little bit at times, joining the rush. Itakura, excuse me. We have a viewer in Hamilton, South Africa. Very good. Welcome.
Kamada's class, yeah, facts.
Yes, he is.
I think everybody got to know Kamada on the FIFA Ultimate Team, the swaps token, where you need like 7 assists with a Japanese player. Everyone just picks up the center attacking midfielder. They're like, yeah, good enough.
This will work out just fine. 5 minutes in, a lot of feeling out process still. I shouldn't say the one complaint. I have a few complaints with the World Cup in Qatar, but with it being 35 degrees, I'm going to miss the Milan Borjan sweatpants. We're literally like a year out from Edmonton, which is unbelievable.
It's kind of the alt of like Alistair Johnston wearing a t-shirt in Edmonton.
Yes.
Milan Borjan should wear sweatpants
yes,
in
he
Qatar.
should.
100%.
Yes, he should. One of the funniest things from that Canada-USA game from earlier is the Hamilton Sports Museum basically like stripped the sweatpants off him basically at full time. And we're like, this is going in a museum. Atiba is another one of those slept-on players for Canada, isn't he?
100%. It's interesting because he basically took the entire "is Alphonso Davies a left back" debate and answered it for everybody.
No.
He's like, no, I'm the left back.
I mean, Alphonso Davies can be a left back, but it's not much of a drop with Sam there whatsoever.
Facts.
The most unassuming guy, too. He was on the flight home from Edmonton with us, a bunch of the One Soccer crew and some of the Canada Soccer people who were going back from Edmonton to Toronto, and he just sat in the weight room with his headphones in and like everybody else, not looking for any of the attention. He was super grateful and humble when people came to say hi to him, but like, yeah, pretty fun game. I goes, yeah, it was a good one.
I feel like that's most players who are, very enthusiastic, very like expressive on the field. They end up being very reserved off of it. That's been my impression too. Like, Atiba jumping into snowbanks and pulling off like the Erling Haaland style meditation.
Yeah.
But then off the field.
God, what a shot that was in Hamilton. Just when the game, that entire second half in January was so quiet, so nervous.
Oh, we got a goal coming up here?
Looks like it. Spoiler alert, chat. 8th minute goal from Japan, unless opt is wild in, but I'm genuinely here to trust it. They're attacking Miller. Oh, flick, what a ball.
Great finish.
Great finish. Early goal for Japan.
We can pull up the goals on our Twitter once they're tweeted out.
Absolutely. We'll get those highlights. Yeah, this is why we have the technical expertise. Yuki Soma plays for my favorite J-League team, Nagoya Grampus. Curious to see the replay here. How much does Borjan come out to challenge? He's kind of half committed.
We can't show you guys the full game, but we can definitely share goals with you guys.
Eyes on the ball the whole way. What a perfect little dink to the right. Japan leads. And this is the entire debate with these friendlies just before the World Cup. What's a good result for Canada? Of course, win, best case scenario for the Canadians. But you want to see them play well, understanding there's a couple of key people missing. But Canada, admittedly, since that unbelievable qualifying campaign, just hasn't been on, the same momentum just hasn't been there for the Canadians. And It's a lot different than CONCACAF. They had the growing pains early, but I mean, it took falling behind to Uruguay before they really dug in and started playing Canadian soccer again. 2 set pieces for Uruguay in that match, I remember. Yeah, look, and the other thing too is you got to be a bit realistic, pragmatic. If you're a Canadian soccer supporter, they're not going to be playing with the lead a ton in Qatar. It's just with the level of opposition they have, it's just not going to happen. So how do they respond to this adversity? Kane says, I really feel sorry for Maxime. Yeah, that was absolutely heart-wrenching to watch him go down. And that's just the type of player Maxime is, understanding that one of the biggest moments in his professional career is just right around the corner, but so focused on getting the job done for his club. Country could wait an hour and a bit. I don't think he was expecting to go in and break his leg like he did, but body on the line is exactly what we're just used to from Maxime. We have a corner coming up for the Canadians. It's their first real set play of the game. Working on getting that goal highlight for those joining us on the digital stream. So nothing doing on the corner for the Canadians. Heavily rotated Japan side as well. 6 changes from that Ecuador friendly. We're going to get the goal now. Just watch, that run from 24. Miller's caught ball watching a little bit, and that's where Canada can get exposed, is at center back. They don't really have the pace to keep up with great runs like that. And you'll see on the other side of the replay, the highlight, is just the tiniest of touches. And again, Borjan's kind of out. He's not really challenging. He's not really back on his line. You're not going to get a 5'6" play-by-play announcer giving you the goalkeeper analysis, but it just looked like he was kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere. That's brilliant. Bit of a gut punch so early in the match too, but disappointing one, no doubt. Miller's kind of everywhere and nowhere. Same can be said for Borjan.
Does Borjan do better there, though?
Can he? Yes, he absolutely can. I think your fear there, if you're Borjan, is you come out too aggressively, and it's a control and a dish, and then it's a wide open goal. But he's kind of doing everything and nothing all at once. So we're about 15 minutes in. A lot of defending for Canada in the first quarter.
What do we think about that goal, guys? Let us know.
Bo says actually a good goal. I would say yes, a very good goal. Are we off this side, Armin? Can I go back to the program feed?
Yep.
Sweet. Yeah, that's not going to be the play, Sammy. Dealing with the press. There's going to be a lot of that for the next 75 minutes, and you know that other nations are watching this very closely. Herdman's not going to show his entire hand. Canada back in the attacking third, and the offside flag comes. I hate that new offside rule so much. Just raise your flag.
Such a tease.
Nick Johnson, is this game only on One Soccer? Yep, that's how you can watch the broadcast live. Watch.onesoccer.ca, the One Soccer app. We are not going to give the game away for free. That's why this is the watch along feed. If you want to keep this in the second tab, check back in, see what the chat's saying. And we'll have Ollie stop by at some point, but he's pacing. He's in game mode right now.
We should mention during the World Cup, we'll also be doing some FIFA streams.
Yep.
We'll do some Ultimate Team stuff. We'll do some online World Cup mode stuff. So
plenty of original content on this side, which has been awesome. What are we at subscriber-wise? I think we're getting close to 60.
I think we're at 53.
Is it? I thought it was a bit more than that.
50,
maybe I'm just overshooting it. Yeah, 52.4. I guess I could have just looked over my left hand. Do I think Japan can make it out of their group? I think the group stage this year is as wide open as it's been, but they are in a tough group. Germany, Spain, Costa Rica in the middle can definitely be the trick, the trap game. I wouldn't count them out of it. Sneak a cheeky draw to the Germans, beat the Costa Ricans, and they'd be in a really good spot.
Brandon says Hockey Canada would be beating Japan 15-0 already by this point.
Yeah, fair. You're not going to get me to disagree with that. Japan, for those wondering, 24th FIFA ranked team in the world. Canada's still 41.
Can you turn up this mic a little?
Can we?
I'm not sure. Just bring it a little closer to you.
Kadeem, I don't see Japan getting out of their group. Again, if I was betting my own money, I would say probably not, but if I was given like a free play, I'd say there's some very nice odds on Japan to get out. I think they're a very talented team. And I think the schedule, I think if you're going to get Spain, you're probably wanting Spain last. I don't think you want to go Germany, Spain, and then Costa Rica. You would have Costa Rica circled as your win if you're them, thinking that you can get the result there. But they definitely have to get a draw out of Germany or Spain to have any shout. This is better. This is the most sustained possession in the attacking half from the Canadians. And that's probably the third time in a row we've seen Canada get the ball out wide, which is exactly the MO, the mindset. But it's the return pass into the middle. Japan's just waiting and poaching. It's been way too easy. Nice touch, Joe. Back heel for Tejan. Better.
Could have taken an extra touch there.
He could have, but then the last time he was on the ball, he took too many touches, so.
It's the happy medium.
Yeah, somewhere. 17th minute, Canadian corner. First one had next to nothing on it. Is Tejan playing? Yes, he's had 3 or 4 touches in the last few minutes. Right side of midfield, in that 3. All right, Junior Hoylett. Something better here. Looking for Laren. Ambitious, Alistair. Don't hate it. Okay.
Not quite Ice Tekka, but...
Not quite Ice Tekka. Will anything ever be Ice Tekka again?
Dude, the vibes on that day were
unbelievable.
Immaculate vibes.
It is the coldest I've been in my life.
Oh, that's right, you were there.
I was on the field. And that was like peak COVID restrictions. So we had to get swabbed and everything. We had to have our test before the game, but then just like 2 hours before kickoff, they do a rapid test. And once we're clear, Nora, who's producing in camera for us, we had like a 4x4 square that we couldn't leave, not even at halftime. As soon as the game started, we were stuck there. It's like we had like cardboard boxes trying to keep our feet. I had like 17 of those hand warmers and like genuine frostbite at the end of the game. Yeah.
You know, I was just here.
And you were just here?
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like I was trying to keep an eye somewhat on what was going on, especially after the goals. Like I wanted to see
For sure.
Twitter, what's going on with the hashtag CanMNT, but like you take my phone in my pocket and like dead immediately.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, well, I'll find out when we get back to the hotel.
We got to make this a little bit more higher stakes. So let's say every time Canada takes like a shot, we'll open one of these Panini sticker packs for you and try to pull some Canada players.
I'm in. Well, that was almost the second goal, and there might be a Canadian caution coming with that back in the play. I'm not going to show the challenge. I mean, that's better defensive positioning, but it's also not doing anything with 5 players there. And I don't know if it's just a matter of they don't want to step and get beat, but in that situation where there's 4 people around, Borjan would have had that, but even then. think the other thing, I will always have a different perspective on Belgium as a Welsh Canadian. I've seen so much Belgium the past 2 years in Nations League and qualifying and everything. They're just a machine. Yep. I refuse to buy into they're getting older and they're not what they used to be, and that's fine. You can still be very, very good and not be what you used to be.
I remember when we did the World Cup draw, like I said, this is group of death, and everyone was like, no, it's not. It's fine. We can do it. I'm like, no, this is a brutal group.
I've done a couple podcasts with it, and the way I explain it when people are asked, like, what do Canadians make of their group? And my reaction is always, Canada was so excited just to be there that they were looking for every justification. They're like, oh, Belgium's old, Croatia's old, Morocco who? And then it sinks in for a few weeks, and you're like, oh, damn.
Yeah, wait a second.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. No, Belgium is not old. They are older than they were, but they are still very, very good.
Yeah! Let's go, baby!
Oh.
Come on!
Welcome to the studio, ladies and gentlemen. We know we're going to get a goal here.
Here, let's
Jordan Wilson.
Come on!
Jordan Wilson, come have a seat, buddy.
Come on!
I haven't seen it yet. What happened? Give me the play-by-play.
Look at this. This is a little fox in the box, baby.
Watch it here. We're going to see. Jordan's going to do his first play-by-play for one soccer.
Let's go. Okay.
So this is their third corner, 21st minute.
Well, it's on the corner, right-hand side.
Yep. In swinger, out swinger.
In swinger.
In swinger.
In. It's like right foot. Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's left and right. Still morning.
Got you. No, it's okay.
We got there.
Love.
Oh, that's better.
Look.
Oh,
come on,
Teams
baby.
in Victoria?
Come on, baby.
Just as they drew it up. Victoria.
The old boys, baby.
Get in.
Come on.
Let's go.
You did say it, though, Ali, no? You said you did say it. I got it. Set pieces. Yeah. You got a 6'5" and a 6'2".
Well, we knew we were going to need a lot of these guys. Defenders especially. That's the first time Japan has not looked good position-wise. And you're either on that post or you're not on that post. Tanaka's kind of nowhere. Well done, Stephen Vittoria. Let's go. 1-1.
So I think that works. We can show you guys the goals before they happen.
Jordan, that's a 10 out of 10 play-by-play, by the way, mate. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was real good. That was real good.
I said nothing. I'm there watching it again, but...
Also, how dapper does the Japanese coach look today? You got me in my, 9 a.m. Eastern time, red and black plaid robe, and you've got the vest, the tie, looking sharp. 22nd minute, level. Let's see what we got here. Yes, go to pull up the stat, and you remember that accents matter for the Canada Soccer search engine. I think I'd know this by now. Stephen Vittoria from Atiba Hutchinson, 1-1. Japan, Canada. We got 21st minute. Johnston's on a yellow on the 18th. So they did go back and give it. They didn't show it on the replay, but that advantage they played the last time Japan was back down. Ali got booked. I think we need a pack ready to go.
Do, that's right.
That's goal number 4.
Here.
Stephen Vittoria.
We'll do 3 for a goal.
3 for a
shot.
goal. Fantastic. All right. I want to add as well, the fact that Atiba can get his 100th cap at the World Cup is damn cool.
We should mention we did pull a few extra Canadians in our last stream, so I don't know if you want to show those ones first.
Sure.
So we can track. I think we've got Max Crepeau and
Oh yeah,
Crepeau
on the wall. If you haven't seen Max Crepeau's heroics from our FIFA stream, I highly recommend it. So who's our contingent? We got Crepeau, Alistair Johnston from the last stream, Junior Hoyland. I can't block his face like that. That's rude to Junior. Also, Kamal, Mark Anthony, and the lads. So that's the Canada core so far.
So we got so far. No Jonathan David, no Alphonso Davies quite yet, but
we'll get there.
Let's see what we get out of these packs.
We'll get there. Okay, 1-1. We got 3 for the goal. We're going to take 1 for every shot that Canada gets as well. Nice touch, Laren. Just a slow start, Armin. Plenty of game left.
Yeah. Dude, we're in the 25th minute.
Oh, I can't look at them as I pull it. See, clearly I'm not an expert at this. You guys are much better than this than I am. We also, like, you would be shocked at the amount of sticker books that are in the office right now.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Master Control has, I think it's Oscar and Master Control. Big football supporter.
Nice. You can trade our duplicates.
He has a stack that looks like 3 different casino used discard piles that he's trying to pull from.
I'm still stunned from Alex pulling Ronaldo and blue Messi
Yeah, that was
back-to-back.
ludicrous. Okay, we are starting with an Aussie, Andrew Redmayne, into the keeper contingent. Nikola Milenkovic, Serbian. Johan Vengas. Oh, there's Ollie.
You're opening stickers?
We are opening stickers. Matthias Vecino.
I haven't opened a single pack this year.
That was my first couple weeks ago. There you go, bud. Thanks. So yeah, that is 2 keepers in the same pack.
Oh,
it's a good thing we're not building a 5-a-side out of this. And Anthony. Oh, that's not a bad pack.
Yeah, not bad at all.
No Canadian flavor in it, but I'll take it. Gonna move the mic. Ollie's gonna do his reveal. Oh, in real time, I just kicked up the turf.
Am I on the camera? Oh god, yeah. Look at this.
A little bright. A little bright.
Hector Moreno, our Mexican friends.
Yes.
Pass him over to Jenks. He'll put him up on the screen.
Yeah,
There you go.
I will.
Martin Braithwaite, Barcelona legend.
Third keeper out of this.
Oh, I see a blue.
Martin Braithwaite.
Sungyu Kim, the South Korean
Woo!
goalkeeper.
Woo! 4 of them now.
There we go.
Kim Sung-gyu.
Bringing it home, Kyle Walker.
Ugh, I can't even hold it. Yeah, where's the hand sanitizer? Ugh.
And the guy I'm hoping Alphonso Davies absolutely tortures, Toby Alderweireld.
Nice, we'll take that.
That's a decent 5-a-side.
We'll
team.
take
it. Explain. I know a lot of the people in the chat understand the system, but what does the blue make? Is there a certain number of blues? Is there one per team? How does the colors work in this?
So there are the standard stickers are just white. The blue ones are like semi-rare, and then I think there's like red ones that are even rarer. But yeah, it's like the first time that Panini's doing degrees of rarity. So if you want like an all blue Canada page,
buy more stickers.
It's going to take a lot of boxes.
All right. What do you think, Ollie? Is there Canadian in here?
No.
Oh, pessimistic.
We did a video yesterday. It'll be up on our YouTube channel, I think Friday, but it's basically trying to build the best possible Canada team and Ultimate Team.
Oh, nice slip. Tejan, do something. Go.
Oh, that's a
well
shot.
done.
That's a shot. That's an extra pack.
That's an extra pack. Ollie gets a pack. Okay. Brian Ruiz.
Legends. CONCACAF legends.
Fantastic. This is where I miss having Alex here. I'm going to butcher the Senegalese pronunciation. Cheku Kouyaté.
Kouyaté.
Granite Xhaka, that's a good pull.
Nice. Good midfield there, Kouyaté and Ruiz
Felix
and Xhaka.
Fena Gyan?
Jan?
Is he still going?
Wow.
Oh, it's a different Jan. Okay.
And Nampalys Mendy. We have a lot of Senegalese in this pack.
Good stuff. All right, Ollie, one more.
One more, and then I gotta go and
They're right behind
do
you
my
there.
job.
Right behind you there.
Ollie, this is your job now. You're never allowed to go back. That's the 4th corner for Canada. 3rd time they've gone without any contact.
Bilal Ifa, Tunisia.
Tunisian. Bilal.
Half of what looks like a strand of DNA. I'm not sure what that is.
Oh, it's the World Cup logo.
Half of a strand of DNA, says Ollie.
Oh, here you go, Adam.
Oh, that's going to be Wales.
A few goals in him. Brennan Johnson.
Let's go, Brennan.
Nice. He's at Nottingham, right?
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. Topical. Morita of Japan. Don't think he's playing today.
Inamasa Morita, he is
on the bench,
benched,
right?
Yeah. Sporting. Little Stefano Eustaquio, Portuguese.
And Gareth Wheeler's favourite. I'll go out on a high with Fred.
Oh, Blue Fred from Ollie. That's a mic drop.
We will take it.
Thank you for your service, Ollie.
All right, have fun.
Can you sound less like a dad? Okay, kids, you have fun. I'm going to go back to work now.
Zach, did you clip the Buchanan shot?
So get everybody reset on what's going on. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. This is our watch along. We're going to do a bunch of these throughout the World Cup. Every Canadian game during the World Cup, special guest. Let us know if there's anything in particular you'd like to see in the chat. We're always open to new ideas. Obviously, for matches that we do have the rights, we'll show you highlights as soon as they're available to you. If you want to watch the game live, you gotta move the mic. You gotta pay for the game. That's just how the world works. But good second tab viewing, second screen. If you're not in front of your phone, you're driving maybe, just put the YouTube out. Don't look at your phone. Don't touch it. Don't be distracted and drive. But just hang out, keep up. We're gonna update you on all the scoring opportunities, all the goals, highlights on the stream as well. Let us know where you're watching from. Certainly appreciate you joining us for our soft lunch. Our rule: every Canada shot gets a pack. Every Canada goal gets 3 packs, okay? And we're going to try and... How's our sticker book doing, by the way?
We actually have not started putting stickers in, so I have no idea.
Maybe I'll start that at halftime, because we're going to go back. We're going to give you guys the halftime show. You're going to hear the actual buttoned-up analysis from Andy, Jordan, and Ollie. Yep. And then I'll get started on the sticker pack, and then we'll come back, and I'll probably get another coffee. I might lose this row because...
It's Red Cup Day. Gotta hit up the Starbucks.
Oh, nice cut back for Jonathan David to his left. That's great defending, though. This is as confident as Canada have played yet.
Yeah, definitely a different.
How's Canada looking since we can't watch the game? Brandon asked. Much better. I think they were trying a little bit too much. Tejan especially. He has that syndrome in him when he knows he's talented as all get out, and when the game's a bit stuck or a bit what's the word I'm looking for? Stiff. Needs a little bit of something. Tejan tries to give it. He's been brilliant the last 10 minutes. This is a 31st minute free kick for Canada, about 7 paces from the arc. This is a good spot. We got juniors there. We got Sam there too. Goals, by the way, Yuki Soma in the 8th minute, and then Atiba Hutchinson set up Stephen Vittoria in the 21st minute. Vittoria's 4th goal for country. John Herdman's in power stance. That's how you know things are getting intense. Meeting of the minds. We got Piet.
Very encouraging that Canada was able to equalize.
Yeah, no head down, no bad body language.
It's a good sign of confidence, especially when you're playing against teams like Belgium. They can score so early against you. Croatia, same thing.
Mig says Atiba is such a dependable fullback. Yes, we're here for all the Atiba love. You know what we need? Maybe I can work on this because I'll have a bit of time. Because this is OBS, right?
Yeah.
Can we not have a button on the stream deck for little animated videos that pop up on the stream?
Facts,
so I can make shaking John Herdman for goals?
Sure. Yeah. All right, we'll get it all set up. This is all new, by the way. I don't know if you guys have... This is the first time we've really ever done these kinds of watch-alongs and live streams, so we'll do some stuff for the World Cup as sort of a soft launch, but then next year we'll do weekly FIFA streams, we'll do marquee CPL match streams, so there'll be a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely want to subscribe to One Soccer if you haven't.
Yeah. Like the video too, even if you do it in spite of me, like for the sticker packs.
Tyson says, still don't have a free kick, guys.
Tyson Sturo. Give Osaze 6 more years maybe. Corners 5 for Canada, none yet for Japan. Defensively much better for Canada, I think, since about the 20th minute. It's been a lot more composed on the ball. Better pressing. Yeah, I was going to shout you out and flaunt a little bit that I'm bilingual, but I appreciate you translating the message for the rest of the chat. But apparently Leo Messi is from Morocco now, born in Rabat. Canada and Morocco have a good relationship. Support Morocco. Fair, you were born there, as you should. Canada-Morocco would be a very good game, I agree.
Morocco has a similar sort of story to Canada. Underdogs in their qualifying campaign that overperformed relative to expectations, and that's why I think people see that game as being the one that Canada should win. But they've got that same kind of self-belief and confidence that Canada gained from their
fantastic, Jonathan. Single-handedly took the ball away, turned and fired, looking far post. The left foot of his is a wand. Herdman is absolutely in it. You love to see it. I don't hate him taking that shot. I'd like it on target, but I don't. Now it's a shot on target for a pack, right?
I mean, if you want to do a pack, I'm not going to tell you no.
Well, yeah, how many do we have?
We have a bunch. We gotta get through them.
Paul says, great change of momentum since the 10-minute mark. Yeah, I'd say the goal was a wake-up call. You don't like to concede to be woken up, but hey, take your wins. God, Adam Kubi's so good.
Whoops.
That was a little bit sketchy to see a late challenge on Piet.
Do you know Piet's like 27 or 26? I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought I feel like Piet's been around forever.
Yeah, no, because he started so young that he
Yeah.
just feels like he's been here forever.
I thought Piet was still part of that generation that like.
Well, he's part of the unburdened. Marky, final score predictions. The way Canada's playing right now, 2-2. Japan taught us very early in this game that they just need like half a second to break. Now, I'd like to see a big Borjan stop.
This could be 3-1.
This could be for Japan or for Canada?
No, for Canada. I think the tides completely shifted in the second half. Like,
I think you need to be careful with the Samurai Blue, which is the best nickname in all of world football, by the way. Step over outside of the foot off the thigh of Vittoria. Now this is where Canada's got in trouble a few times, is that switch of the field. They slide. Bulldog Piet, make sure nothing goes forward. What's that mic drop, Wilson? You're playing five-a-side. Who's your first pick? Or one of them?
Oh,
Alistair, 100%. 100%.
So rugged.
We're 40 seconds behind you guys back here. I do appreciate the heads up though when something good or bad happens. This is the digital stream, so we're doing a watch along. What our chat? Andy Petrillo wants to know what we're saying in the chat. Japan. Will One Soccer be showing all World Cup games or just Canada games? That will be on CTV. They had the rights before One Soccer was even an idea, so they beat us to it.
but you can join us every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
Good night, Qatar.
Good night, Qatar.
Patrol and I are going to be hosting. I won't be hosting in a robe for that show.
And do you want to do stickers with us?
Petrolia, do you want to do a panini pack?
Yeah, I feel like Andy's got like the sticker luck.
Sure she does. She's going to get Davies for sure.
What am I supposed to do?
You're going to open
So
that?
you open this pack, you hand me the card, and we're going to show chat
Just
who
one
we're pulling.
card in here?
There's five.
Oh, I was about to say one. What a ripoff.
There's going to be at least one. Actually, there's going to be no Italians, isn't there? That's a shame.
Oh, you're so funny. That plaid's going to be inside out on you soon. See, I needed to have chosen it myself. You handed this to me, but that's okay, Armin.
Then we have so many.
No. It's like the scratch.
Excuses already.
It's the scratch tickets. Don't hand me a scratch ticket. I will choose my own scratch ticket. Thank you very much. Nope. 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 Nope.
Not a good pack for Petrillo, eh?
No.
Okay, give her a second one. She can pick hers. Where's the box? She pulled. Actually, there's some pretty good ones in here.
There you go.
Tariq, Tisudali. Good for the group.
All right.
We have half of the mascot, who's my favorite thing of this World Cup, by the way. I can't remember its name.
This one's on you, Andy.
Mexico, Kevin Mbabu, and Daniel Vass of Denmark. Okay, Petrillo, no excuses this time.
No, the package I chose, I can't even open it. What's happening?
39th minute now, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Jezu.
Better?
Got Karim Benzema.
Karim Benzema's a great ball. Maybe she did just need to choose it herself.
Oh, I got two Françaises.
Deux Françaises?
Deux Francese.
C'est bon?
Yeah, so hold on. Aspetta un momento. There. Here's your Karim.
Thank you, Petrillo.
Thank you, Andy.
No Davies.
No Davies yet. Karim Benzema. This is my favorite thing about the Polish language. There are two Z's in this name. Gregorz. Kuchowiak. Ooh, that's a good pull. Blue. Adrian Rabiot, c'est bon. We have the Ecuadorian crest. And we have Ayrton Preciado of Ecuador. It's a good Ecuador pack. I'm gonna have my work cut out for me to fill this in.
Yeah, we'll take those.
You got
drop in there.
there we go. A reminder: we are going to join them behind the setup here for halftime.
Where is Canada? Where in Canada is the One Soccer studio located? We are in.
It's classified.
Oh, we can tell them. We're like
It's
West
classified.
Toronto.
Yeah, we're just outside of Toronto. So here is for those not from Ontario or super familiar, it's the Greater Toronto area, which is basically from Curtis, Oshawa, all the way to Hamilton and all the little sleepy suburb communities. So we're basically Mississauga, Oakville, Toronto, where all the highways kind of converge. Send in your fan mail. Actually, don't do. That's a bad idea. Flin Flon, Manitoba. I would love to see Flin Flon, Manitoba. Just to say that I've been to Flin Flon. That's another good set piece. Kamal charging back post. Okay. Letter grade. We have 5 minutes to go. Give me your letter grade.
For Canada?
Yeah.
I'd say like a B-.
Mm-hmm.
Like they conceded the first goal, but then they responded well.
Oh, that's a great ball from Hoylett. Great ball from Hoylett. Better defending from Samurai Blue.
What would you give him?
Do I have to grade it on a whole, or can I grade it after the goal? Because those are two very different questions.
You got a goal coming up?
I don't know that they did. No, we didn't just score. I'm saying, am I grading from after Japan scored their goal in the 8th minute? Because the first, I'd give them an E for the first 10 minutes of the match.
It's just the nerves. You just got to shake those off.
I don't know if they've had a corner from this flag yet. Oh, bobbled loose. Who goes up for that? Is that Kyle again? 6 corners for Canada, by the way. None for Japan. Juichi Gonda. Off the right shoulder of Laren. He's a problem in the air. I don't know how you defend that.
Look at Herdman.
I love it. I think he knows too, John, at this point, that he's like, there's always a camera on him as soon as Canada does anything. Yeah. Not that he's always playing up for it, but he's at least aware that he leans into it a bit. Oh, that's promising.
I feel like I'm doing a Herdman cosplay with the AirPods.
Cut back to the spot. Well done. Right place, right time. Alistair Johnston. Hoylett, Laren, and Adekubi have been very, very good for Canada. Injured Japanese player. Soma, the goal scorer, down.
Hutchinson's been decent too.
Yeah, turning back the clock. So I think it's 98 for Atiba now. So then he should get his century in Croatia, but it depends on how much he's used at the World Cup.
If you're Herdman, you just put him on for 2 games no matter what.
For sure.
If he doesn't start all 3.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of that just depends on Eustaquio.
Yep.
Silly tackle from Hoylett says footy 24/7. Yes. E as in excellent or E as in awful? Asked Jamward. I would say E as in bad. The first 10 minutes.
We can throw up a poll.
Can we throw up a poll? All right. I would say since... Oh, that's okay. See, the replay scared me. I thought that was another goal. I look away for 1 second, and Vittoria's scoring. Like, no way a first-half brace from Vittoria. No, I would say, like, A as in top marks, B, C, D, E, F. Canada gets an E for the first 10 minutes. Since then, and the poll's up, everybody. Vote now. I would say, as a whole, B.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Jonathan David nutmegging 1, losing the ball, getting it back. I'm going to scroll up a little
Broken
bit.
Finger asks, is Davies being rested? Yeah, he's still not actually with
the
Canada camp.
That's a very good question. Davies is still in Germany with Bayern Munich. Since the injury, they just decided it was best to leave him. And I don't blame them. He's familiar with their rehab now at this point, unfortunately, and you don't need to travel him too much beforehand. And as soon as he came up with that hamstring, there would have been a plan in place for how long, what they think needs to be done, and Obviously, there's constant communication with the Canadian camp, but they just weren't going to fly him out early. So yes, he's still in Germany. He'll join them in Doha soon. Where's JJD TV this morning? Probably sleeping in. That's a lie. I'm sure he's watching the game.
He's doing his own live stream, but we'll have Josh in for the 3 Canada games for sure, along with Alex. We'll have a full crew for that. I think this one for us is more like a soft launch, like a test pilot, just to make sure everything works.
57% say B, by the way. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
45th minute, 3 minutes added time coming up. Letter grade for Japan, C, I think. C seems fair. Just because they started so well and have sort of sat back a little bit since.
So I think we're approaching halftime here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll give you guys the full halftime show here on the stream as well, and then you can join us again for the post game. We might just have to go quiet.
As soon as we hear them go on that side, so we'll be about 90 seconds away, we'll step back. There's JJD TV with a wave in the chat. What app is this for the movement of the ball? I know it's Opta based. That's all I know.
Oh, the background?
Yeah, like the actual game monitor.
I think it's just LiveScore. LiveScore has like a...
LiveScore. There you go. And that is William Massey asking that question. Hamstring strains take 2 weeks to get back on the pitch, let alone to play full tilt. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? It's one thing to be training and running and sprinting. It's another to be game ready. You're not going to rush him. But like, you want him for every second, obviously, Alphonso, but you're not going to risk him tweaking something, making it worse, and then missing more time. So honestly, I'd agree.
Even if he just plays Croatia and Morocco, like that Belgium game is if we're going to win that Belgium game, or if we're going to get a result from the Belgium game, it's going to take something special regardless.
Yeah.
So.
I think in a brilliant analysis from me, perfect world, you have him for Belgium, obviously, but if you could zoom out, I think Belgium was the game you were going to try and like sneak a victory from. Croatia for me has always been the write-off.
The Belgium game, you can just straight up say like, if we play for a draw on this, then it's good enough.
Yeah.
And the other two is where you're going to try to get results, but that's not what Herdman's going to tell them. Of course, he's going to go for a win on all 3.
I totally agree. Okay, guys, recap first half. Final 90 seconds or so before the break. Yuki Soma, 8th minute goal. Great goal it was, by the way. Roll the highlight back in the live stream. We'll show it again at the halftime show. It was Atiba Hutchinson off a corner, flicking it. Victoria, great finish, 4th for country in the 21st. Alistair Johnston picked up a yellow card at about 3 minutes before that goal, and it's been a lot more Canada on the ball since then. Curious to see John's changes in the second half. Are you resting so you can bubble wrap everyone?
You got to make some wholesale changes for fitness. You got to give guys minutes. Any of the 15, 16 players that he's going to call on have to get some playing time.
Yeah. Okay, guys, this is going to be where we step aside because they're about to start the actual show. So we're going to take ourselves off the screen. Some magic. We're going to go back to them. We'll be back for the second half. Get your questions in, anything you want to ask. Andy, Ollie, Jordan, whoever. I'll go bug them with your questions, but we'll be back in a bit. Who's been our best? Alex asked before we go. Tajon or Hoylett for me. And that's where we'll leave you. All right.
Canadian shape is good. You can see their lines are compact. There's good distance between the back 4 and the middle 4.
The question coming in was, were Canada ready to compete against some of the world's best? Through 45 minutes, so far so good. They conceded first in the 9th minute, Soma with the goal, but Canada punched back and grew stronger as the half wore on. Stephen Vittoria with his 4th Canada goal, that coming off a corner kick in the 21st minute. Overall, a very good half of play by the Canadian men's national team. In Dubai, through 45 minutes, is Japan 1, Canada 1.
Fun. Intelligence. Drive. They run in the family. Corolla.
Ooh, this does not look good for Canada.
They may need to send someone in to replace Kyle Larin.
Send him in.
I'm in it! I am coming!
Never ever seen anything like this before.
I think it's you. Is that a shawarma?
Habibi!
Boom! That's Osmos, baby.
We're making what you're craving, Osmos.
We're used to labels. Apologetic. Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3, bang!
But screw labels. No more being polite. No more sugarcoating. Because we're label-less and limitless. Oat Canada, the official plant protein partner of Canada Soccer.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
I do this for my town, my time, my time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
It's Matchday Live presented by CIBC right here on One Soccer. Andy Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, Oliver Platt with you after the first 45. It's 1-1 between Canada and Japan, the final friendly for both these countries before the World Cup begins on November 20th. Japan strikes first in this one. Yuki Soma getting the goal. Let's go back, though, to Milan Borjan and the attempted clearance.
Yeah, it wasn't a great start for Canada. They actually played pretty well, I think, for most of the half, but a very slow start. And I just think in situations like this, we're going to pause it there. Milan Borjan has a bit of time there, and I think those are decisions that seem like small decisions, but if you just turn the ball over that easily and create second balls and transition opportunities in the middle of the pitch, as we're going to see here that easily, you can get punished against really good teams. So I'd just like to see a bit more care in terms of those decisions Canada are making playing out the back. And then, Jordan, you see the back line gets a bit exposed because they have to reset so quickly to a transition moment.
Exactly, and then they're ball watching a bit, right? Not really looking at the player. Soma does a great job in running in between defenders that you should do if you're trying to be free, but we're not set, and we need to have Atiba maybe tucking in a bit, and Miller obviously maybe just putting a body on him or a hip or something to throw him off. But yeah, it all starts with the keeper.
I think there's been an interesting kind of showcase of the risk-reward of playing 4-4-2 for Canada. They're not set up like we expected. Hoylett's out on the left wing in a 4-4-2. And you see the danger that creates at times because of the front four they've got. But you also see sometimes it leaves them a bit open through the middle of the pitch in central midfield and central defence.
Well, you know they're going to be upset about that. You can see it on Kamal Miller's face and even Milan Borjan, because that was something, again, after that Uruguay game, John Herdman, we actually had a chance to speak to Kamal Miller as well, saying it's just that one mistake, it's in the back of the net. The second mistake, back of the net, and that's it. And then you would look at that, to your point, tidy that up, that goal doesn't happen. But it's all how you bounce back, and that's exactly what the Canadians did. This one off a set piece. And what do you know? Who would have chosen Steven Vittoria to get the tying goal here, Jordan?
The seniors club, right? the two. I can say that because when you hit 30, everyone thinks you're a grandpa. But right, the two veterans, just doing their bit right here. Honestly, Junior Hoylett, his quality and the crosses has been a game changer for us in the first half. But yeah, just being active in the box, right? You have one guy, if you can beat him or put a shoulder on him or whatever, you find some fortune. So it's just a beautiful finish right there.
Yeah, the key move there for me, we paused it at the start, was Kyle Larin just coming around Sejon Buchanan. Buchanan kind of sets a pick for him. Larin runs around it. That really disrupts the Japan defense. And this is not a very big Japan team, right? They're very good with the ball. They're very good in terms of their energy. Set pieces with the quality of Hoylett's deliveries have been a massive threat for Canada.
Hoylett, great delivery. Atiba looked like he touched it a bit there to Vittoria. Look out, youngins. What do you got? You ain't got nothing yet. There's a lot of people right now. I'm just reading some of the comments, right, because they're watching this game as we take a look at the halftime stats brought to you by Toyota. We know who a lot of the starters are going to be, but maybe there's some questions of, maybe who should get the start. A lot of people are loving Junior Hoylett. Just the form that he's in for both club and even for country back in September looked great and is so far looking good here. This one is 1-1 on after the first 45. When we come back, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Who do you think is going to get Canada's first shot on target at the World Cup? First goal, first caution? Who do you think is poised to break out and be recognized by the world? That's all coming up next on One Soccer.
To play. It's something that's in us from the very beginning, and something we take with us on every step of the journey. When we have no words, it gives us a way to speak. When we are still finding our way in the world, it gives us somewhere to belong. And no matter who we are or where we come from, it gives us the right to dream.
Christine Sinclair, as she scores at her 5th World Cup. Alphonso Davies!
It's time to celebrate the game we love. It's time to play.
New degree advanced. First ever 72-hour nonstop protection with motion sensor. Tested to the limit and proven.
Still feeling dry and fresh.
72-hour nonstop protection however much you move.
Think you've seen tough? You've seen nothing. When you're absolutely drenched and still take the final shot? Not even a challenge. Playing extra time under the beating hot sun. Hardly sweating. When the wind's so chilling it cuts to the bone? Now we're getting somewhere. Playing in Canada's tough. We're not sorry about it. Wanna beat us? Come on. We're made for this.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
If you're having a World Cup viewing party, you're probably going to be playing some of these games. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of money on the line. For us, it's just our pride. We're going to see if we can guess these things correctly, right? So we're going to have a little bit of fun, rapid fire, when it comes to Canada at the World Cup. And first question, who do you think is going to get Canada's first shot on target?
I'm going to go with Jonathan David.
Okay, makes sense, yeah.
Johnny Davids. All right, just to be different then, I'll go with Kyle Laren. I think he's going to start in that game, get the first shot on target. It'll be one of those two, you would think.
Hope he starts.
All right, but who do you think gets their first goal?
First goal. I'm going to go with Stefan Eustaquio. It's a bit of a different answer. Popping up from outside the box. I just made that up.
Again, it's not a bad
I think I missed
He's
that
been in form. He's
yeah,
been scoring.
He scored, what, 5 goals this
Yeah,
season
he's
or
been
something
scoring.
like that? So there you go.
So it's not a crazy shout. I'm going to go with Tajon Buchanan.
Okay, no one...
Not the obvious answers, though.
No.
Well, is that because we're all nervous that Alphonso Davies is not going to start against Belgium? Because here's my other one. How many games do you think he starts in the group stage?
2.
I feel like that's a safe answer,
Give
right?
me 3. I'm an optimist.
You're going all 3. He's ready for Belgium?
He's going to be ready.
Okay.
Look at that.
It's the World Cup. Come on.
Who gets Canada's first yellow?
I think we both had an idea on this one of someone who likes to cause a bit of trouble. He never oversteps the line and gets the reds, but Richie Lorea, you know, often gets himself in the book.
We have to agree. If Richie starts, first 45, he'll have a yellow card.
Okay, but what if he ends up being an impactful substitute and it's Lucas Cavallini who gets the yellow, which is going to be my next question. Who do you think will be the most impactful substitute for Canada? I'm
going first?
Yeah.
I'm going to say it was a toss-up between Kone and Osorio, but I'm going to stick with Osorio.
Okay.
I am. I'm going to stick
That's
with
a good
Oso.
one. I actually have the same answer as the last question, Richie Lorea. I think Junior Hoylett is playing so well right now, I think he's going to start, whether it's wing back or on the wing. So I'm going to go with Richie coming off the bench and making an impact.
Yeah, I know. I like the Kone one too. I feel like that can be a sneaky one. But maybe he's the answer to this because, you know, again, Alphonso Davies is already the global face for Canada. You know, Jonathan David, I think, is close there. Atiba Hutchinson has been around forever. But who do you think will be able to play at this World Cup and really make a name for himself?
So it was a toss-up for me between Buchanan and Kone.
You got all these toss-ups.
But you got to stick with one. You got to hop the fence and be on one side. And I'm saying it's Kone. Just because him being so young, and I don't have to explain myself. You guys already know. But just him being so young, if he has a decent World Cup and contributes to the squad, man, this is a guy who was playing amateur football 18 months ago. So what a story and what a comeback that is.
We've done some version of this a few times, I think, on One Soccer Today, and the one I always come back to, I think, is Tajon Buchanan. A little lower profile than David and Davies, but I think he's capable of having a big impact on this World Cup, particularly the types of games where there's a lot of ability to play on the counter-attack. He could be a real weapon, I think.
Quickly, we know Canada is a firepower when it comes to their offense, so how many goals do you think they actually score? I know it's a different game.
A very optimistic 4, I'm going to say.
I think 3.
Okay. 4-3, it's not too bad.
We'd take that.
We're going to have a lot more fun on our nightly show, Good Night Qatar. Maybe, you know, these questions will be answered by then when we get going. Join us every night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on One Soccer. We'll also be on One Soccer's YouTube channel. Be myself, Gareth, Ollie. We'll have some guests hopping on in as well. We'll take a look at the games that were played that day. We'll look ahead as well. And, of course, the big stories around the Canadian soccer team. So Good Night Qatar, 9 p.m. ET on One Soccer. It's 1-1 after the first 45 here in the final friendly before the World Cup for Canada and Japan. Second half coming up next here on Match Day Live on One Soccer.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. First 4 weeks free. Access Storage. Proud partner of Canada Soccer's men's national team.
We created Carlsberg 0-0 because even the best things can be better without goal free beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
We're used to labels. Apologetic. Sweet. Pushovers.
1, 2, 3, bang!
But screw labels. No more being polite. No more sugarcoating. Because we're labelless and limitless. Oat Canada, the official plant protein partner of Canada Soccer.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
Fun. Intelligence. Drive. They run in the family. Corolla.
Welcome back to Dubai, Canada, Japan in the final game before the FIFA.
Unmuted, that's how that works. Welcome back, everybody. Getting ready for the second half. My name is Adam Jenkins. Thanks for joining us on our One Soccer Digital Watch-Along. We are here to provide our version of commentary on this side of the broadcast, and we have some of our One Soccer talent, Jordan Wilson, Andy Petrillo, Oliver Platt. They'll stop by. We're opening some Panini packs as this match gets along. We'll have the Watch-Along live monitor so you can follow through if you're not in front of your laptop, phone, whatever it is that you're watching on. If you do want to watch the broadcast, that's watch.onesoccer.ca or the One Soccer app. Otherwise, hang out here. We'll react to goals, we'll react to moments, and we'll update on subs and everyone else that comes in. And I'm going to click the button that sends me up there. There, that's how the camera works. And then back to the game monitor. Looks like a couple of changes. I'm going to get my rosters in front of me to try and keep track of them. Josh Cloak reporting that Ismail Kone was basically going through a full 20-minute warm-up before the end of that first half, going over some tactics, so he looks like he should be one for Canada. We have a bunch coming. Miki Yamane for Japan, triple switch. Who else is coming in? Ritsu Doan plays for Freiburg in Germany, and Ayase Ueda of Cercle Bruges. So we have a few Bruges-based players now, but that's Cercle, not club. So triple switch for the Japanese to get us started, and I didn't see any Canadians come in, so maybe no Kone just yet, but we're expecting him to come in underway again. Again, we have the live monitor up just to my bottom left on the view. We've got the chat open. Let us know where you're tuning in from, where you're watching from, questions. We'll have some polls from time to time. Every Canadian shot, I'm going to open a pack. If there's a Canada goal, I'm going to open 3. We haven't pulled any Canadians today. We have, how many, Armin? 5 now, Canadians? 7? Oh, see, I'm not even paying attention. 7, like the number on my shirt. No, this is not a Stephanie Eustaquio jersey, by the way. It's a Russell Tybert number 7. It's a throwback. But on the topic of Stephanie Eustaquio, not in the team today, nor is Alphonso Davies, dealing with some knocks, each of them. It's one where you don't want to rush them back for the friendly if they're not 100%, as much as you'd love form and fitness here. It's a matter of being smart if you're John Herdman, while also getting some players, some good minutes and some good rhythm. That's key. Armin, you can control the polls, right? Yep. Can we do a poll of the best Canadian player in the first half? I'd like to nominate Junior Hoylett. I'd like to nominate Stephen Vittori because he got the goal. Alistair Johnston. And then maybe an other, and then they can write in for another shout. By the way, we asked Canada's letter grade for the first half. 47% of you gave them a B. I gave them a B. I think that's probably fair for the performance that we saw from them in that first half. 3-4-3 for the Canadians. Miller, Vittoria, Johnston at the back. We have Hoylett and Atiba, the wingbacks today. Atiba, Hutchinson back in the team, getting the assist on the Canadian equalizing goal, lining up beside Sammy Piette, and then Kyle Laren, Jonathan David, and Tajon Buchanan in there as well. Again, let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. Any questions, I can throw it over behind the monitors to our One Soccer talent who are there, if we get enough going. All warming up for the World Cup. This is like our soft launch today. So we're trying this setup out, seeing what works, seeing what we like, seeing what we can add. If you have any suggestions for maybe not as segments, but features you'd like to see, if we can incorporate them, we absolutely will. So throw them in the chat. You can see one yellow card. That was to Alistair Johnston for a challenge in the 18th minute, just before the Canadian equalizing goal. Tyson says Tajon running his socks off. Yes, he's definitely up there for me as one of the best players. I personally am going to vote for Junior. I think he had the best first half for me, but hey, there's a few Canadians that get some love.
Let's mention that we will be showing goals live.
Yep, so when we're about 30 seconds delayed. That's just the nature of YouTube and doing this digitally, but we will show the goals live as soon as we get them. We can cheat that a little bit as the rights holder. Can't show you the full game, of course, but we'll show you the goals, the big moments, and then post-game, back to the studio we'll go like we did in the first half. We'll get the full-time reaction from Andy, Ollie, and Jordan. Also, if you're new to the One Soccer YouTube channel, drop a like on this video. Let us know if you do like this kind of content. Subscribe if you haven't. It's not just the watch-alongs we'll be doing for the World Cup, but FIFA streams and all kinds of original content and short get-to-know featurettes that we're going to try and put together. We have, 6 days before ball's kicked? So there will be some content coming. It'll be myself, of course. You'll see a lot of me. Josh Deming will be here in and around. Alex Gange Ruzik and Armin, of course, who helps tie everything together, will be featuring throughout our World Cup digital coverage. And it's almost a turning point moment for this channel. We've done very well. Thank you for those who have already subscribed. To be at 50,000 already has been fantastic. We'd love to see that number climb. Do you think 60,000 by the end of the World Cup's a fair goal?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's what I like to hear. So we're going to try and push it. What's the poll about? We did a poll for Canada's best player in the first 45 minutes. Our options were Junior Hoylett, Alistair Johnston, Stephen Vittori, the goal scorer. I mean, without the goal, it's not the same kind of match, or other, and you can write in your votes down there. I was a bit surprised to see no changes from John Herdman. I think they finished the half really well. They didn't start the game properly at all. It was all Japan. Canada really struggling with the press, especially. It's a different kind of press. It's not like fully smothering all the time. It's just very smart timing for Japan to go through and try and force the turnovers, which they had a lot of joy from in the first 8 minutes or so of the match. Remember, Japan missing a good contingent of their team. This is, I wouldn't say quite their B team, but this is certainly not the team that they're going to start the World Cup with. Wednesday, they'll start against Germany, so a bit of rest for them. But they've been on some good form. Their last match was against Ecuador. They drew that game. That was back at the end of September, 0-0. Penalty stop from Daniel Schmidt, the American-born Japanese-raised goalkeeper who is on the bench today. Good to see Atiba back in, getting some regular minutes. I mean, especially with Eustaquio's injury, you want Atiba healthy as possible. I mean, he is the talisman for this team. everything he's done for the program. To get here nearing 100 caps, he'll be the first Canadian men's player to reach that mark. David had a really good first half, too. This is the third time Canada has played Japan. Ironically, the last time they played Japan was in Doha, which is a nice turn of fate. That was March of 2013. Canada's never beaten Japan. Lost both of their games. Combined score of 4-1. The only Canadian to ever score against Japan prior to today was Marcus Haber, and it was his first ever goal for Canada when he did get that goal in Qatar back in 2013.
Carly 2 says Morocco team is better than Canada.
That's a take of which you are entitled to have.
When will we find out if they are?
When will we find out if they are? Well, they, Armin, the last group stage game for Canada, December the 1st. That's kind of terrifying to think December's 2 weeks away, but here we are. The schedule for Group E and Group F fall on the same day, so every day that Japan plays, Canada will be playing as well. Canada schedule Belgium first, Croatia, then Morocco. Japan opens the World Cup against Germany. And they have Costa Rica on November 27th, a Sunday, and then December the 1st against Spain to wrap up the group.
Can I write a comment?
Andy Petrell, you can write a comment.
Sure.
You can also say your comment.
How tight is your shirt?
How tight is my shirt? Not tight enough is the answer. Petrell, I've been in the gym lately. I'm trying to show off this chest. This is also the only Canadian kid I could find that had a number on it, and it's a size small.
It's a very tight shirt. Are there any Letterkenny fans out there?
Oh, don't sick them on me. Don't sick the Letterkenny fans on me.
I see the muscle shirt arrived today. Do the muscles arrive tomorrow?
Petrell, get out of here. Get out of here. She's fair, though. That's right. It looks better with the robe, I'm not going to lie. Now I'm self-conscious. Thanks, Andy. Atiba going to play the whole game to see if to get a match fit. Shouldn't a half be enough? I think they're a bit weak in midfield, Tyson. I think they don't really have a choice. Atiba's going to have to go probably at least an hour today. Kone will come in eventually, I imagine, right for Atiba. Mark Anthony Kaye there as well, depending on how Herdman wants to use his subs.
Well, Andy with the chirps.
I know. I'm still trying to mentally recover from it. Ooh, heavy touch Vittoria. That wasn't exactly how they tried to plan that. Vittoria. Nice turn, Ali. Looking for Tejan. Has a step. Tejan in the 18. Tried to touch in around. That was Maeda. Or Ito, I couldn't tell, 25 or 26.
My parents will be there waiting. One of them was very serious. I told them to get there 11. They bought new outfits for the occasion.
Kid Shot, what's John Herdman listening to? Wrong answers only. What kind of music do you think John Herdman listens to?
Soundtracks to like war movies.
It's actually just all quiet on the Western Front, being streamed from the press box.
The orchestral soundtrack to Gladiator.
It's either that or it's some kind of like motivational, like constant believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You can do this.
Or 21 Savage.
Chad, I want to hear what genre of music does John Herdman listen to? Makes sense. Taylor Swift's new album. Haven't we all? Hands up from Ottawan. I've never heard of Ottawan. I'm disappointed in myself for that. Ollie, what type of music does John Herdman listen to?
question.
What type of music does all
We
listen to?
Everything.
Ollie does
John
listen to
Herdman,
everything.
what about Sam Fender, Geordie Springsteen? That and Fonzie's song.
Yeah, everything that Alphonso Davies produces is definitely just on a constant loop. Imagine if like they do well and the song that Fonzie will drop after his first goal or something, banger, top of the Spotify charts. Heavy metal, says Raphael. Wait, is that for Ollie or is that for John? I don't know what's more unlikely.
I do not listen to heavy metal.
Heavy metal is probably that and screamo are the only genres that are on my no list.
That was a scream.
Who's screaming in your ear?
Someone's screaming in the crowd.
Babies and screams. See, Mig, that's what I'm thinking. Mig says he's listening to David Goggins' motivational clips. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's just constantly like self-improvement talks for John Herdman. You don't get to be that philosophical without some wisdom. 3-man wall for Canada. Who got booked there?
Didn't see.
Right into the wall. Was that Junior again, who's done everything today?
Take this out because commentary is not in sync with the stream.
Well, if you want, you can move over there. Maybe it'll be more in frame with the mic and everything.
Johnston, good recovery run. See, this is where Japan caused headaches in the first half. Plays just like that.
Yeah.
And they're smart with their pressing. We can't tell what the score is. Landon, it is still 1-1. Believe me, we will be either very happy or very down if there is a goal, and we'll show you the highlights as soon as the goals are coming. And
It's
that's
a bit of an omission from this stream, eh?
It is a bit of an omission. You're right.
I don't know what this is.
The live monitor.
The live monitor, but it could do with the score.
Oh, that's a good shout from Cryptic. Herdman listening to some hard UK drill. That's what I like to listen to. Marches and drill. Great in the gym. That's Japan's first corner of the match, and nothing happened at all from it. That's a pocket. Switched over. Ali slides. Tejan goes with him. Uh-oh. Well done, Johnston. Ollie, you ready for your Japanese trivia?
Sure. What have you got?
There are 2 Japanese players in the Premier League. Name those players or their clubs.
Maya Yoshida, Southampton.
I know it's not Southampton.
Oh, no, wait. He left, didn't he?
He did.
Is he not in the Premier League anymore?
Yoshida, no, he went to Germany.
Germany, okay.
Schalke.
Mitoma, Brighton.
Mm-hmm. 1 for 1.
Who's the other one? I should know this.
You should know this. It's Tomiyasu.
Tomiyasu.
Who does
Arsenal,
Tomiyasu play for? Arsenal. Very good. Take that as a passing grade. Oh, the chat was on it right away. If you actually put Herdman on the aux, though, I bet he'd play Remember the Name. That's a good one. Cinderella Man. I can see John, Cinderella Man, just before the game walking through the tunnel. What do we make of Kamal today?
I think it's different when they play a back four. He's got a lot more to do. He got turned a bit on the first goal. But overall, I don't think he's done badly.
Larea, Kay, and Osorio. Stroke of an hour. Kone as well. 4 moves.
Kone came on without anyone noticing, I think. He's been on.
Okay. I'm going to say, because we expected him to come in at halftime.
Yeah, they didn't. No one announced the sub. But.
So that's 4 moves now for John.
That's Atiba, 60 minutes.
About right.
That'll help. Kay, Larea, Osorio, Hutchinson, Adakubi, and someone.
Osorio.
No, off, I mean.
Oh. Does it take
Was it
Junior
Atiba,
off?
Adakubi +1.
Must have been Junior.
Yeah, you might be right.
So that puts Richie. Ultras with the drums. Love to see it.
Good Canadians hand out. Look at all that red.
I think there's a good chunk. What do you think that flight is from Dubai to Doha? It's got to be like an hour at the most.
It's less, I think. It's right across the water.
Be a good way to spend a night on the ferry.
I think a lot of fans, not just Canadians, are staying in Dubai because there's more hotels and stuff.
Right.
And you just fly over for games.
Right. So who have I missed? Lorraia's in, Kone's in, K's in, and where did Osorio go?
Was it Hoylett who came off?
I thought that was Lorraia in for Hoylett.
Let me have a look at this properly. So we got Johnston, Vittoria, Miller.
No, Hoylett's still there. This throws everything off. Let me see if I can pull up.
Who's playing left back? Lorraia. Hoylett, Kone.
Oh, that's a dangerous ball.
Osorio.
We got to get to the bottom of this.
Who am I missing? Okay.
So it was Vittoria who was booked, by the way. I got to get that note.
So it's...
And then it was...
Kone and K in central midfield. Osorio to the left.
Osorio came in for Tejan.
Hoylett to the right. In fact, Osorio is pretty narrow. Maybe it's glaring out on the left now. Oh no, there's Lorraia.
Did Osorio play against Bahrain?
Yeah.
That was the same day as the first Brazilian friendly for the women's national team. I have no idea what happened in that game other than the score.
Wasn't a classic.
No, nor was the pitch. Steve says, doing that Dubai commute, 1 hour shuttles, no overnight in Doha. Fair play. Hoylett, right place. That's a foul. Oh, you got to let that advantage go. Kone, Osorio. Okay. So he checked.
We need your spot back, Armin.
You know what else I've learned about this shirt? The white's not flattering to me at all. If it was black, it'd be a bit better.
Just seen the name on the back of that.
Yeah, it's Russell Tybert. Abdul says it might be 1-1. I'm thinking positive. Yep, 1-1 right now. Who from One Soccer is in Qatar? KJ will be.
I think we said Nora as well, didn't we?
Nora will be there, yep. She will be shooting a lot of KJ's stand-ups that we'll use on Goodnight Qatar, which is our new show coming. Very excited about that. Digital-based, 9 p.m. on the channel, every single night.
It'll be on YouTube as well.
Yep, YouTube first. Good shout. See, this is why we keep Armin around to check me. Paul says, I'm pretty sure 1 goal is the bare minimum to be better than the last World Cup. True. A goal, whoever scores the first goal will have that Canadian record forever.
Is that a good bar? Just a good goal to set is to score a goal?
No, absolutely not.
You're going to go for a win for
absolutely
sure?
Not. Anything less than 2 points in this tournament is a massive disappointment for me.
2 points?
Yeah. Even if you do not get your first win, 2 draws at the bare minimum.
I think if we had like a different group, then yeah, I think that would be a fair goal, but it's just a tough group.
No, I mean, they're all tough.
So those are 2 really long days, and then Morocco.
Okay, you ready for this, Armin?
Yes.
I'm going to go through every single group. You're going to give me the easiest group.
I like how I just said yes without hearing the concept.
That's
first.
I like that.
100%.
The kind of guy you want to have at a party with you. You in? Yes. What are we in for? Okay, Group A, which I think I'm going to cheat. I think this is the easiest group for me. Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal, the Netherlands.
100%.
Group B is a group of death. England, Iran, USA, Wales.
Yeah, England and USA are both very good teams, and then Wales is also at the World Cup. So.
Wales is going to get out of that group. Not biased at all. Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland. Woof.
Mexico's not great. Poland's pretty strong. Argentina's Argentina.
Argentina's.
I actually have Argentina in my final.
I think Argentina wins.
Yeah.
France, Australia, Denmark, Tunisia.
That's too hard for France.
That's a decent group for that. Whoever, like, someone can claim that second spot and do well.
Easily. That's like 3 evenly matched teams, and then
Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, Japan is a tough group.
That's really tough, especially because Japan's going to give both Spain and Germany a good test. Costa Rica's decent, yeah.
And we obviously know Group F: Belgium, Morocco, Croatia, Canada. Tough.
I still have this overwhelming feeling that Canada will somehow top this group, and I don't know why. I know it's completely irrational, but it's giving Costa Rica 2014, where it's just
Nagatomo.
Okay, if
FC Tokyo is in.
At least one of these big nations is going to have a bad World Cup, right? That's just it.
There will be 3 or 4, I think, top 10 teams that flounder.
I don't know. And then the other thing is you'll see often that finalists from one World Cup will have a bad World Cup the next year. So it's Croatia being.
And then Croatia will make the final, and everyone will be like, "What?"
Yeah. So who knows, man? Could you imagine though Canada topping this group? Canada, Belgium, let's say.
So my out of the group is Canada, Croatia.
Yeah.
Sorry, out as in advancing, not out as eliminated. By the way, so Brazil, Group B, Serbia, Switzerland, Cameroon.
I feel like I see Brazil play Cameroon in every World Cup.
Probably.
Is that weird?
No, there's a few of those. Because you got to remember too, with the draws, they separate confederations.
Yeah, based on confederations, yeah. And also, I feel like Brazil and Serbia is a pretty decent matchup too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good group. Those are 4 solid teams.
Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, Korea, Republic, Group H.
That's
Portugal.
Pretty straightforward for Portugal.
If they think. Although that Fernandez Ronaldo thing was hilarious.
So apparently, I was doing some research on that. Apparently, he made Ronaldo was just making a joke about Bruno Fernandes arriving late or something, and it's not a United snub sort of situation.
No.
It was played
Don't give in to the cold water.
Same with the Joao Cancelo thing on the training ground. Apparently, he's just a very competitive. It was just a competitive 3-a-side or something. But yeah, honestly, the timing of the interview was very interesting because obviously personally benefits Ronaldo to have all this around there, but also doesn't it kind of take the pressure off of Portugal a little bit? None of their players are being talked about. None of their team is being closely examined. It's kind of a good situation if you put aside the circus.
Yeah. No, I get that. These kind of takes get me in trouble, but I really don't care.
I don't know.
Nothing makes me happier than watching England, Portugal, and Italy suffer. Nothing gives me more joy than that.
No, I like England. I think England's going to have a good World Cup. They have a good group of players. Historically, English national teams have been very heavy in star power, but never really gelled together. I don't know. So there's something about this England team that actually seems like a lovable group that you actually do kind of want to see win. I never wanted to see Steven Gerrard lift the trophy.
You're talking to a Welshman. I'm not agreeing with you on any of this.
Predictably, France is having their World Cup meltdown right beforehand. So
yes. Oh, good news. Did you see this? Mike is out of breath. Mike is.
I can hardly breathe. I'm just back from the future. I watched the World Cup final. Canada won. Yes, they won.
Good news, everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Just enjoy the ride.
I like how we are completely ignoring the time travel element and just enjoying the
Not worried about that.
We're who cares about that other thing? Canada won. Love it.
Jason DeVos rocking the t-shirt. 7th minute, cooling break. 35 degrees, by the way. Just a casual 39 degrees warmer than it is right now in Toronto.
Jason DeVos, easily one of the nicest people that I've met.
100%.
Straight to the dressing room.
He's just trying to make sure guys don't get injured, I'm assuming at this point now.
Need a quarter zip, chat. A little chilly in here.
Andy really got to you, eh?
Sure, yeah. I'm not going to sleep tonight from that comment. Patrol, better?
I'm going to the bathroom.
Thanks for sharing. Okay, so is that Kava?
What's the price of Bitcoin? Yeah, Mike.
You're not getting crypto advice from me. Johnston out. 70-minute run for Alistair. Joel Waterman, ladies and gentlemen. Little CPL love.
What's the best store for buying national team swag? I think SportCheck has a bunch.
SportCheck has a good.
And then you
good
hit up
bet.
the Adidas thing because they have like a Canada
Yeah,
line.
if you want the rival line, the Adidas stuff is very comfortable. Strongly recommend.
But like CanadaSoccerStore.ca, I think it is. For
Canada Soccer Shop.
Yeah,
Canada
that's their
Soccer.
official,
Yeah,
that's their official one.
It's like Fanatic. I think it's Canada Soccer Shop.
Yeah, we'll drop that one in for the partners.
That'll be all your Fanatics line. But if like locally, SportCheck's probably your best bet. Especially like who knows, shipping times this close to the World Cup, there'll be crazy demand. So I'd say SportCheck's probably the play.
I just dropped the link in the chat. Like that's where you can get stuff online. And in terms of physical stores, like I guess the only thing I kind of know is around here. Like there's a place, L&M Taylor, I think, that does soccer stuff.
I mean, that's the beauty of the World Cup is you'll have all those trailers pop up selling every World Cup flag and shirts and jerseys.
Which is another thing, we're like 3 days away from the World Cup. Have you been seeing car flags? Because I feel like
I haven't seen car flags. No.
Yeah,
that's
I
a
feel
good.
like
It's a good call. I feel like it's more of a summer thing.
Yeah.
But then again, it would theoretically be easier in the winter because you're not rolling your window down.
Fact.
The amount of times I've like lost a car flag because it was a hot day and I'm like, I'm just gonna roll the passenger side window down.
That's another thing to mention. So I found a bunch of Canada Soccer merch at Shoppers Drug Mart, which is like
Fantastic.
What's it called in Quebec? It's like the Red Pharmacy. I don't know what it is in Quebec, but yeah, Shoppers has like car flags and water bottles.
Yeah, the decals, the stickers,
all that kind of stuff. So there's some merch popping up here and there.
Paul adds SVP Sports in
Subu
Toronto.
Subu plays clutch.
Foot Locker Canada 2. Look at the chat coming together.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Thanks, chat. Appreciate you.
Did you buy anything for this World Cup?
Did I?
Yeah.
No, I have an entire wardrobe just off to the left.
I bought a Fonzie jersey, predictably,
Mhm.
the red one, but I really, really want a like the black Jonathan David one.
Yeah. It's a good question, Chad. I know there's going to be a lot of Alphonso Davies, but if you're getting one Canada shirt with a name on the back, Pharma Pre, thank you, Alex.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Nike
chat.
outlet
If you're
stores.
getting one player, Davies is probably the popular one. Give me your top two. Or if you're going to give me Davies, give me your other one. For me, in order, Eustaquio, Johnston.
Oh, Eustaquio's such a good pick, actually.
And then, I mean, Davies is the classic.
I just want them all.
I think we could pull some strings.
I feel like rocking an Alistair Johnston shirt at,
Yeah.
at a CPL game
Yeah.
is like,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Especially you can get like a League One. Oh, here we go, David. Turnover. Oh, he cannot find target today, eh?
It counts as a shot. We're doing a pack.
Yeah, let's do a pack.
You pick.
Shout for Buchanan from Mig. Subway Scientist says Fleming. Absolutely. Fleming would for sure be my women's national team player. Especially if I could find one that had the gold numbers on the red shirt. Those were amazing.
Yeah, those were dope.
Great chance for Jonathan David. Good defending, though, too, to be fair. All right. Or Henry. Hutchinson black jersey, Eustaquio red. That's a good combo, Joseph. The blacks are so underrated. Like, let's not pretend like we're happy with the shirts that we have for the World Cup. That's fine. It's a whole other conversation.
Honest,
the
though,
blacks are nice.
To be perfectly honest, the fact that they were just like simple shirts kind of saves the whole thing.
A little
Like,
bit, yeah.
If they were old and also ugly, then you could be like,
A decent ball hauler. He's been Canada's best player, and it's not particularly close. Lorea being a absolute pain. Kind of throw a second. Okay, we got a moment here. Ooh, good start. Ilkay Gundogan, German. Piero Incapié. That's not how I wanted to turn that at all.
oh, we got a yank.
Serginho. Joseph Bercalo. Good. And one more American.
Oh, it's an American pack.
Zach Steffen, American pack. Gonna have to get that. That's gonna be my project after the stream is to get that sticker book updated.
Yeah, we really got to get our stickers organized.
That was a little chaotic.
75th minute, 76th minute. Not a lot of going down here. I feel like
there's a goal in this game still. Makes me so happy to see Joel Waterman there. I don't think you'll see the grass in Qatar, but that's fine.
Well, never say never.
2 caps more than he had a week ago.
I think Lucas McNaughton is still in camp too, as like one of the injured reserves.
I mean, they flew him to Bahrain. I can't imagine they'd send him back. What do we got? I got the black Nike practice shirt and the same red Nike track jacket as me. Hey.
I did see a couple interesting, like, non-official things that were also kind of worth
Oh,
looking
decent
at.
ball for Cava. Proudly representing Unattached FC.
I think Peace Collective has, like, a World Cup line that's actually pretty cool. It's, like, retro World Cup poster shirts. There's, like, an 86 one, so that is, like, a kind of a Canada throwback.
That's K with a nice
And then I think
takeaway.
Abercrombie and Fitch also had some World Cup stuff.
Stop,
this year.
really?
Yeah. They're like, again, retro shirts. I'm not 100% sure if it's Abercrombie, but
That's the kind of thing I would wear. Unabashed. Chat, where are we watching from? Some good engagement. I want to see towns, cities, countries. Got Jordan Wilson proudly representing Mississauga, Ontario. What are you drinking, guy?
Little coffee.
Little coffee. Is that some Reese's Pieces?
Don't worry about that. It was just a little. You want some of these?
No.
Do you like them though?
No, I'm still self-conscious after Petrilla made that comment about the shirt. I'm not eating any candy today.
What'd you say?
She just dropped the perfect Letterkenny dagger at me. The nice muscle shirt, bud. Did the muscles come tomorrow?
Oh no.
I know.
She's a bully, huh?
Petrilla doesn't realize I'm a runner, not a lifter.
Miggs and Vaughn watching from
Miggs and Vaughn, Cryptics in Van City.
Yo, Vaughn's lit.
Yeah, Vaughn's going to be fun for the World Cup. Alex in Montreal, London, Ontario for Tyson. Walter's in Italy. Where in Italy, Walter? Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Regna do Sky Valento. Any best betting options? You're going to have to be a little bit more specific than that. Don't take my betting advice for what it's worth. But
yeah, that's definitely a Gareth Wheeler thing.
yeah, that's a Wheels territory. I have not bet on a football match since 2 World Cups ago. It's my least favorite betting story ever.
It's the only time I've ever made money was the 2014 World Cup.
Mhm.
I won like $600 betting on Brazil.
The game was, Armin. It was like a Bodog promotion or whoever it was back then. I can't remember who was offering it, but I'm like, okay, I'm in. I think they matched my first deposit. It was, I think I put $50 in, and they matched it and added a bonus. It was like $125. I put it all on an Iran-Argentina draw. It was 0-0 in the 94th minute, and Messi scored.
Oh no!
I was getting cocky. I had the gifts in my Twitter drafts. No, it's a bad story. It's why I don't bet. Jack is absolutely flying right now. Craig's in Sarnia,
Ottawa,
Cremona,
Ontario.
Hong
we were
Kong,
just
but
there.
from Edmonton. Yeah, we were just in Ottawa. I love Ottawa.
Ottawa's such a cool city. People call it boring, but like I had such a good time there.
No,
Every time I
Ottawa
went-
is one of my favorite cities. Ottawa and Quebec are probably, and Vancouver. I mean, I'm sick of, I shouldn't say I'm sick of Toronto, but like Toronto's just not my kind of city.
And Ottawa has great food.
Ottawa's got tremendous food. If you're into like history and architecture, fantastic. Although all of Parliament Hill is under reno right now.
If you're in and around Ottawa and you haven't gone to an Atletico Ottawa game,
Yeah, go.
You're missing out.
Go. 100%.
It is such a cool
The
experience.
Glebe's a very cool little neighborhood too. They're building something very fun there.
Yeah.
We have Steve in Phoenix. Ooh, I miss Phoenix. I was in Phoenix and Scottsdale before the world shut down. I love the Scottsdale quarter so much. Palm Desert's fantastic, and Cali as well. Gamer Dad says he's in Yellowknife. Love that.
Zami Nene says Pyongnam, North Korea.
I didn't think that they got the One Soccer YouTube channel. I thought it was censored, but
He
hey.
says he's there for media purposes, so maybe he's being serious.
Hey, I'm not going to doubt the chat. The chat would never lie to me. Williamsburg, Virginia is Daniel. Daniel, what are you doing in Williamsburg? From St. Catharines, Doka Dokas in Montreal. Some love from Jiming in Ottawa for the shawarma there. Yes. Gary's watching from Sunderland.
Uxbridge.
Uxbridge.
Oh, I got some friends from Uxbridge.
Little Durham love. Anyone watching from Eustaquio, Quebec, or north of the tree line? That would be very impressive. The geography nerd in me loves that.
I would love to like get some analytics on our One Soccer like back end and just see where people log in from, like how far spread like their national team fans across the country.
Oh, some love from Whistler. Gordon, are you a skier or a snowboarder? Because every time I see like an Instagram ad for Blackcomb opening, Tromblon's our go-to around here, but pales in comparison. Sal's from El Salvador and Tennessee. Major Canada soccer fan. I've seen the journey to Qatar from the national team and I'm excited to see them against Belgium. Sal, welcome, and I fully agree. I think that's the nicest thing is like, obviously Canada supporters want them to do well, but there's just this like renewed optimism about the boys being back.
Yeah, 100%.
Vaughan, Ontario. Gordon's a skier. Oh, Gordon, enjoy Blackcomb for me. David, a header. Looks like maybe a handball.
All these Vaughn comments make me want to go to Ricci's. Woodbridge, there we go.
Oh, that's where you are. You're in Eustaquio. Dang. Okay. That's almost like that would be 2 people from the territories today. I'm gonna put you up in that contingent. Jason is on a plane flying back to Canada. You paid for the Wi-Fi on the plane, Jason?
Why wouldn't you?
I'm so cheap, man.
No, come on.
No. Give me a book.
Plain Wi-Fi is one of modern day's like greatest blessings.
I'm curious to see how good Starlink or Alaska's is with Starlink.
Yeah.
Wonder if Wales has that optimism as well. Trust me, yes. Bucket hats and optimism is all we're thriving on. I love this World Cup because before, I mean, as long as I've been alive, I have not had Canada or Wales to cheer for.
Yep.
So I've like picked the Dutch because I just enjoyed how they played.
That was like me too, man. Like no Canada, no Armenia. Like. You kind of just like there was a time. I'm afraid to admit this on a stream. There was a time where I did cheer for the U.S. because they had some PFC guys.
I know.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm not judging you. I totally get it. You wanna show some North American love. Same with Mexico.
Those are dark days. We're not going back to those.
No, we're not. I mean, Waterman hasn't had to do much, but he's looked fine. I love this. We're getting Sarnia bar shouts in the chat.
Nice.
Home of the Sting. I've been to Sarnia exactly one time. I saw a Sting Attack OHL hockey game. It was back when I had my Belleville Bulls. Traveled around.
It says he's an Aussie living in Japan.
So you're screwed either way. I'll be in Australia in 5 weeks. Cannot wait.
Nice little vacation?
4 weeks, buddy.
Nice.
Doing 28 hours in Seoul. And then 3 weeks in New Zealand.
Wow.
And then I'll be in Gold Coast for like the Australian, their version of Canada Day.
Nice.
I'm sure there's a name. And then I'm meeting up with my sister again in Sydney before I come home. So
that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've never been outside of Canada or the US, so it's going to be a very nope. I've done a lot of states and provinces, but I've never been outside. I'm very excited.
Chad, that's gotta be like how old are you?
26.
Okay, so this is like your big one then.
It'll be one of them for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
You want to hear the best part? All my flights combined, $570.
No way. Dude, I've been trying to get ironically, I've been trying to go to Japan. And I think they like pay for half of your flight or your flight and half your hotel or something. Like there's some crazy deals out there now.
Oh, Larea, good run. Kone, oh, it's a heavy touch. That's gonna be disappointing for him. Lets him down.
Is Japan scoring here?
No.
Someone in chat's
just pulling our legs. Craig, don't have TSM planning on taking the days off to make it to a bar and watch the games. Best way to do it. I mean, there's some early mornings. There will be, I wonder if they're going to open the bars a bit early for that Morocco game, 10 a.m. I'm sure there'll be some kind of exemption. I agree, Raphael. Saying I'll be supporting USA, Canada, and Mexico to show some North American support in the World Cup. The rest of the world tends to look down on them. I think that's fair.
Go check out our YouTube video on this. We just did something.
Yeah, can a CONCACAF team win? That was a good video. Okay, 86th minute. This has been, I mean, we're talking about travel, vacation, and geography. It tells you how exciting this second half has been.
Yeah, this second half has gone dry.
A little letdown. Good lad, Joel. CPL love. David, inside outside contact, wants a penalty. Referee says absolutely not. Tyson's school teacher can't call in sick, but I can find a shady feed and throw it up on the screen for the kids. CTV, do it for the kids. I will say that's one of my absolute best middle school memories. 2010, our middle school, sort of the grade 7s and 8s were like tucked into this corner of our high school, and our grade 8 French teacher, homeroom guy, big soccer fan, he put on basically the World Cup stream for the entire tournament because it was like the last 2 weeks of school, and I will never forget like the 150 of us piled around and the sound of the vuvuzelas going.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
That was like me in 06. We had a teacher, shout out to Mr. Milan, who
Milan
was an Italy fan and would put on the games under the guise of research.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, geography.
Yeah. And would then proceed to like shout every time the Italians turned the ball over.
Fonzie and the Iceman, which is a fantastic handle, by the way, from Chilliwack, representing the Fraser Valley, Australian-Canadian with 2 horses in the big race this time. Welcome to the club. They just called Australia Day. That makes sense. I should have just guessed it was Australia Day. Lived in Surfer's Paradise, and I think you'll enjoy. That's where my Airbnb is. I love that. Let's go, Fonzie and the Iceman. Bell says Eustaquio will change everything. Yes, he's that important.
Tyson, I'm a history
teacher. This is history. Heck yes, Tyson. Or sorry, Mr. McClure. We can't call you Tyson in front of the students.
So we definitely have that. Do we have an All-State? Sorry, All-State save the match?
Well, chat, if you're joining us a little bit late because it was an early kickoff, especially for you West Coasters, those in Chilliwack might have missed the goals. That's a nice little animation for the corner for Japan. Stephen Vittoria, 21st minute, 4th goal for country, tied up the match, deflected by Atiba, Hutchinson getting the assist. And it was Yuki Soma who scored 8 minutes, and it was a beautiful play for Japan. And they peaked, and then it sort of dropped down a little bit. Okay, so corner for Japan in the 89th minute. Oh, that's a dangerous looking ball. They'll get a second phase of this. Low cross, Vittoria away. This was what worried me about this friendly, is if Canada pulls a Brazil in the last match and just takes the foot off the gas a little bit.
Let's do one more pack each just to round out this match.
Sure.
Take your pick.
If there's not a Welsh or Canadian, clear break for Japan, off the post.
Off the post.
Borian beat clean again. Yes, Petrillo, we have a delay.
Why do you have Whisper 2000 on right now?
What's Whisper 2000?
Okay, well, that's right, youngin. You don't know.
I'm a child.
It used to be a device that people could wear that would allow them to listen up to many feet away, and the device was called the Whisper 2000. Look it up.
Petrillo, you being the kid with spy and surveillance gear does not surprise me in the slightest.
100%.
What do you want for Christmas? I want video cameras and microphones to spy on my parents. I don't believe you fully, Andy. Awfully close. Miki Yamane. Eintracht. No, he's not an Eintracht. He's a Kawasaki player. There is an Eintracht Frankfurt sub that came in.
All right, here's mine. Senegal, Bamba Dieng.
Bamba Dieng.
Cameroon, Carl Toko Ekambi.
Crushed that pronunciation. Well done. Carl Toko Ekambi.
Tunisia, Ali Mahloul.
Ali Mahloul.
You got Ghana.
Ooh, okay. They have a great crest. Simple, efficient,
Looks great.
And then one for your vacation here. We got a blue
Ooh.
Jackson Irvine.
Blue Jackson Irvine. Let's go. Look at the muzzy on Jackson Irvine, by the way. I'm trying to figure out what tattoo I should get in Australia. Chat, any ideas? 4 minutes of added time. Yeah, this second half flew by with very little happening, to be honest. Buchanan needs to be better in the final third. It wasn't his best game, that's fair. Better note to enter the World Cup than that Bahrain match. Yeah, I think there was kind of a lull after that friendly.
Well, not to jinx anything, so touch wood, but...
Oh, Cryptic just packed a red Marquinhos.
You do take a 1-1 as like a decent result against another World Cup opponent, right?
Yeah, Japan's a good team.
Yeah.
Now,
not like Uruguay.
Now, this wasn't Japan's best team. This wasn't Canada's best team.
Best team, yeah.
Herdman tattoo. I gotta work with him. That's way too awkward. Absolutely not. Ontario soccer tat says Cryptic. We'll see. Although I do love the Simcoe. Oh, Armin. We're off to a good start. Chris Meffin,
nice.
Welsh, happy boy here. Leandro Paredes, Argentine. Kamaldeen Sumana.
Oh, man, there you go.
Kiefer Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Almost put Kiefer on my Welsh shirt that I ordered. And Jeremy Doku, blue Belgian.
So no Canadians at all.
No Canadians this stream.
It's like yesterday we opened like 20 packs in foot and not one single Canadian World Cup player on our player picks.
Roberto says Japan is a great team. They're not too far from being elite. I'd say they're closer to elite than you'd think when they're at their best. They're that team you never want to see in your group, for sure. 93rd minute corner for Canada. Hoylett's been really good. He's putting a good claim to take these duties from Eustaquio. Save FC Edmonton, says John. Yes, please. Hope them for the best. Win the lottery, John, and buy them. That's the move. Not a bad ball. Not a poor ball. Hoylett gets jammed. And the counter makes me a little bit anxious.
I think we got... Yeah, let's pull this up. We got something big coming.
Cavallini auditioning for a job. 90 seconds to go. We've heard the reaction from the studio. This is Larea? Yeah. David to Larea. Not his best touch. Recovers at the byline. Osorio. All right, Chad. This is your gift. Don't say we've never done anything for you.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, don't get us in trouble. Okay, great ball. Burns by penalty. Let's go. Point to the spot. This could be a big... Canada's first win for Japan.
Gotta bury the penalty first.
I think we're okay because Maxime Crépeau's not defending it.
Facts.
That's an inside joke for the chat. RWTV Retro Winnipeg says, that good news? The good sound? Yes, that's a good sound.
Who takes this? Cavallini or Jonathan David?
David, I think, has to.
Oh, Herdman's not happy with whoever's taking it.
Ooh. Spicy Herdman. Larea, what an individual effort, by the way. Okay. So, chat, we're not going to spoil it. You're seeing it as soon as we see it. Cavallini's going to take this penalty. Jordan Wilson is losing his mind. It diffuses our ability to have great reactions on this stream. It'll be different for the World Cup, don't worry. Cavallini, he's got like a 9-yard run-up. Definitely a clear penalty. And this is when Japanese coach is saying, maybe we should have put Daniel Schmidt in that. Here we go. Cavallini on his left. Oh, Panenka palmed out.
Incredible.
Cavallini, who just got released from his contract. Or the option not picked up, a Panenka in a friendly. You sassy boy, Lucas.
Unreal.
Unreal. Wow. Wow. Was it a great Panenka? No. But did it go in? Yes. That's so unfortunate for the keeper to palm it. Cavallini might have got cut. If that didn't go in. Oh, good. I feel.
No, we take those. We take those. We take those 100%.
Petrillo, as the goalkeeper hugger, how do you feel about that?
My heart breaks for that keeper, man. He's athletic.
Yep.
He freaking had it.
Herdman getting mobbed on the bench. Never try that again. That's saucy. No. I'm in for it. Cavallini, the best. Well done, Lucas. Canada are gonna. This will be scoregami between these two sides. Actually, that's not true whatsoever. That was their last match. It was a 2-1. So now the all-time. Here's some trivia for you guys when you go to your pubs for your watch parties. The 3 Canadians to ever score against Japan: Lucas Cavallini, Steven Vittoria, Marcus Haber. Final seconds ticking away. That looks it. Okay, chat. We're going to throw it back to these guys. Are we going to come back? Just wrap up, say goodbye afterwards? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get this sticker book filled in, but that's a big win for Canada, 2-1. The final tune-up before Belgium. We'll see you on the other side of the post-game show, which we will bring to you on the stream right now.
Cavallini from the penalty spot at the death gives Canada a statement victory. They all matter more come next week, come the 23rd when they face Belgium. But Canada will take this, an encouraging performance any day of the week. Final score from Dubai. Japan 1, Canada 2.
Lucas Cavallini is the hero today. Look at this reaction. Everyone just having a grand old time with it, mostly laughing because they couldn't believe how confident Lucas Cavallini was with that penalty kick. As we welcome you inside our One Soccer studio, it's Match Day Live. Canada, Japan, the final friendly before they both kick off at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. This one ends 2-1 for the Canadians. Danny Petrillo, Jordan Wilson, Oliver Platt. We're going to get to that goal in just a moment because you're still having a good old time with it. But how did you feel Canada performed here? How do you think they're feeling with that result heading into that game against Belgium?
It's more than enough. You saw the tempo. I think they got acclimated to it pretty early on. And sometimes in a game like that where you concede very early, you say, okay, the worst has happened. Let's pick up from there. And I think they did that today.
It was what we wanted to see. You know, they played against a World Cup team today, a team that if they're in a bit easier group could easily be in the knockout stage. Maybe they still will be. And they look very competitive. They started slow. That can happen when you get the group together, obviously, just coming off their club commitments last weekend. But once they got into the game, they looked like a match for Japan and got the win.
They're on the same page as well, which we want to see the game before the game that matters. Everyone's bought in. You saw in the 80th minute, you got all the guys behind the ball working, grinding. When Japan, towards the end of the game, made a drive forward, you had all these Canadian shirts ready to back each other up and make those runs in behind and just work as a team. So it was a great performance today.
And I think, you know, they got what in many ways they asked for, right? You wanted a tougher opposition. You don't want to always go down a goal first, but you go down and you learn what you're made of and you're able to bounce back. They get a bit of a lucky break in a post, making a great save near the end, but then they stick with it. They get a penalty kick, and what do you know? At the death here, they're the ones who walk away with the victory. And Richie Larea, who we know is feisty. He's going to do this each and every time, Jordan. He's going to drive hard. He's going to do everything he can to draw the penalty. But I think we all were like, Jonathan David is taking the kick. And no, not at all. It was Lucas Cavallini.
You got to love the game of football. But he basically said to me right here that sign me, I have no nerves. There's no chance I'm doing a Panenka in this situation.
I nearly fell out of my chair.
Yeah, Lucas Cavallini he doesn't have any fear because for me, I'm blasting that as hard as I can. He says, no, this is Panenka time. Let me chip the keeper. And I don't know who he praised to, but you know he had a bit of luck to get the little flick off the keeper's hand. And
he's done it before as well. He loves a Panenka. He did 2 in 1 week, I think, with Vancouver this season or last season. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he just loves them.
Yeah. He loves it. And to your point, right, we know him going into the World Cup. Vancouver Whitecaps have said, not picking up his option. So he's unattached right now. We'll see what happens with Lucas Cavallini. But the Canadians, as mentioned, they go down early in this one. They end up tying it up. Most likely, unlikely source, I guess I should say here, Ollie. Great to see some strong set-piece work by the Canadians, but it's Steven Vittoria who ties the game.
Yeah, and almost as unlikely as that penalty. But I think the set pieces were a real threat for Canada in this game. It's going to be an important area for them at the World Cup, especially if you're in a game where you're struggling to create chances from open play. You're playing against a quality team. You've got to have set pieces planned out, routines planned in training. They give you a bit of X factor, I think, to find those chances in games where you're playing against such good teams.
I think for us, an X factor as well is just our size, right? We have big boys in the box. You got Atiba, you got Vittoria, Laren. These are guys that are very, very hard to mark. Buchanan's great in the air, can get flick-on headers. I think these are all just, this is an area that we need to exploit for other teams, It's so hard defending, especially in your 6-yard box. So just getting balls whipped in. When you have service like Hoylett did today, anything can happen in the box.
Okay, but you don't want to start from a goal behind. When you look at this goal that they conceded first, Ollie, what do you think needs fixing?
Well, just a little bit of a lack of care, I think. Like we talked about this at halftime. Milan Bojan's just kind of going to drop this ball in the middle of the field. Doesn't seem like much, but it creates a second ball, right? And that's a dangerous moment because all of a sudden Japan are coming at you the other way in transition, and your defensive line has got to react. They're not in their shape. They got to turn very quickly. You see Kamal Miller here just gets beat by the ball over the top. It's an intelligent finish and a really good pass in the end to beat Bojan. But it's just a reminder at this level that you've got to take real care. Every time the ball's coming out of the back, it may seem like a safe clearance, but if you're just dropping it in the middle of the field for a second ball, it's not. It can create a dangerous transition chance.
As a player looking at it, you'd rather the ball go out 70 yards for a throw-in and we get reset. But you feel comfortable, you play the ball back to your keeper, all of a sudden it lands in the middle. You're not set. You're exposed. You're so vulnerable. So as Ollie said, just pay attention to details and make sure that ball is as far away from the goal as possible. No one's going to yell at you if it goes out for a throw-in and they're like on top of their 18 or 20 yards in. So just taking care of the ball and taking care of those moments.
I wonder if some questions got answered here today. So Kyle Larin, there was a question around him not getting a lot of playing time, mostly coming off the bench with Club Brugge. Do you start him?
I do, based on my feeling that I just don't think Fonzie will be ready. Again, your guess is as good as mine. But I think playing with David and Larin, it gives us a real good chance or a hope of creating something.
So wait, so you're saying that if Davies is available, then you don't?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I'm saying that he's not maybe going to be sharp and ready just because we have a week left and he's still not in camp. But so I'd play the two up top.
I think that's the question now. If Davies is ready to go, I don't think Larin plays. I personally think Wills mentioned it. I don't know if you can go two up top against the teams they're going to play. So I think Hoylett plays. He's bang in form. For me, he has to be on the field right now. Buchanan looked great again today. Jonathan David, there's no way you can't start him. I think if Davies is ready, Larin may drop out. And we've seen in the big games for Canada, USA away, Mexico away, they don't often play the two together, David and Larin. So I think that trend may continue.
Don't talk Hoylett just yet. We'll get to him in just a moment. But Atiba Hutchinson was the other question mark because he's only gotten into one game really since his injury in the summertime. How did he look to you?
I think he looked great. I thought he looked ready personally, right? Especially when you compare to the other options. We just know that Atiba Hutchinson is established, he's experienced, he knows these moments. I thought particularly in build-up, as we're seeing here, he helped Canada get out of defence a lot more cleanly than maybe they have in recent games, and he went 60 minutes, so that was what we were looking for. Ultimately, they've got the GPS data, that will tell them more about the intensity he was playing at compared to what they were expecting in a World Cup game. But for me, on the basis of that performance, I think he starts.
Throw the GPS data away. For me, he's just so poised, and he comes in, he says, man, I've played so many games, I know what to do for Canada, right? And then we know next Wednesday that he can play 60 minutes. Start him. It's a no-brainer for me. Like, I was a bit doubtful going into the game, maybe like 5%. Being like, ooh, how does he look? Man, he was making tackles, he was controlling the tempo of the game. Play him. With his experience and the luxury that we have in having Atiba Hutchinson, you have to play him. You have to start him.
Hard to argue.
Yeah, I mean, experience, and he just looks match fit as well. He has found the fountain of youth. You know, it was funny when they were putting out all the photos of the players who had made the Canadian squad, and they said, oh, if you told this little boy then what he would be now. They did it with Atiba. He looked the same. It was 14 years old to like 30. I'm like, no, that is the same photo. Everyone else looked like babies, and they're men now. I'm like, Atiba looks the exact same. All right, but let's get to Junior Hoylett. Is this a guy who's really played his way onto the pitch, and in particular made a niche for himself on this team too when it comes to set pieces?
Yes, he has. He's he's a bit of I would say the X factor that we need, especially in today's game, because the quality, it's difficult to always provide that quality consistently, right? How many corners we have today, and he's whipping in balls, and we look so dangerous when he was taking set pieces and just getting crosses in the box. So for me, if he has a game like this in the tournament, he'll be one of our most important players.
We've always known with Hoylett that the quality is there in terms of the set pieces, you know, the delivery. That's always been excellent from him. But for me, what I see right now is that he just looks, we're going to see some set pieces here, and the quality was, you know, consistently good throughout the game. But for me as well, he just looks like physically, mentally, like he's in the best shape of his career. I don't remember him looking as sharp as this, as engaged as this. Whether he's playing on the wing or a wing back, I think it might be a wing back. I don't think they'll play the same system they did today against Belgium. I think he's played his way into the starting lineup at the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been looking good even in that camp in September. He was a player that John Herdman pointed out. And he goes, I don't know if it's because we have an injection of youth on our squad that suddenly it just motivated him to, you know, kind of get back to work, get back into the gym, find that passion and love. Not to say that it ever went, but there's a different kind of motivation when you have 20-something-year-olds running around. He's like, please hold, I'm still here, right? It's a different motivation.
He's locked in,
yeah,
for sure.
He is. He's definitely locked in. He's looking good. Locked in on this one here as we take you to the 59th minute. All-state save of the match goes to Milan Borjan. Other than that first half where it really seemed like the goalkeepers were busy.
What a save.
What a save. Well, I mean, I guess it goes to show you how we didn't really see anything spectacular from either goalkeepers here. Well, other than Japan when it came to Lucas Cavallini's Panenka in that PK where he almost was able to bat it out of the net, but not quite. This one ends 2-1. The action really in that first 45. You could see the possession. You could see the shots. You know, give the Canadians credit. They were generating. They were getting some on target. They did end up finding the back of the net a couple times. As we look at the full-time stats brought to you by Toyota. So again, the process, the performance, the result, you have to be feeling pretty good if you're Canada. When we return, we'll give our final thoughts. We've been giving our thoughts a lot on Canada and the World Cup and how they'll do against Belgium, but now it's for real, guys. They have no other game left except Belgium. Final thoughts next.
This match is brought to you by CIBC, Canada Soccer's lead partner.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates and analysis, and all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
Canada's men's national team on One Soccer is brought to you by the Toyota Corolla family.
Ooh, this does not look good for Canada.
They may need to send someone in to replace Kyle Larin.
Send him in.
I'm in it! I am coming!
Never have I seen anything like this before.
I think it's you. Is that a shawarma?
Habibi!
Boom! That's Osmos, baby.
We're making what you're craving, Osmos.
Thank you, Canada, for making dreams come true. We're with you all the way.
Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
We call it the beautiful game, where artistry leaves you in awe, mixed with emotion that grips the soul. We are witness to beautiful goals, where unbelievable cannot begin to describe what we just saw. It is where pride comes to life on the pitch, Respect has been earned. This is where one game is found on One Soccer.
Canada beating Japan here today 2-1, and this is who they have in the group when it starts for real. November 23rd against Belgium, then Croatia November 27th, followed by Morocco to round things out December 1st. So it's not easy out of the gate for Canada. Belgium, number 2 in the world. This is a team that was 3rd at the last World Cup. You have Croatia, who was in the final against France. So thanks, cheers. Belgium, Croatia, back-to-back here at the World Cup. Andy, Jordan, and Ollie still with you here. There's a growing belief now, right, given the Canadian performances, maybe this will solidify it a little bit more for some Canadian fans, that Belgium is up there with one of the oldest teams at this World Cup. I believe they're close to 28, maybe 29 years of age. So there are a lot of people who believe, especially with that back line, Jordan, that the Canadians can get a result against them. Are you buying that hype? Do you believe that as well?
I'm an optimist by nature.
Yes, you've said that a few times.
I've said it a few times today. No, they can. I mean, if you ask me, out of 5 games playing Belgium and Canada, like how many would Canada win? But it's one game, yeah? Also the first game. And come off a hype of a win like today, of course they can. I feel like taking care of the defensive deficiencies, if I may say, like in terms of just being compact, if we do that and we break forward well, of course we could beat them.
Belgium at the last 2 tournaments, the Euros and the World Cup, they've won every game bar 2, right? The 2 they got knocked out in, and they were to the winners of the tournaments, France and Italy. This is a really, really good team. Canada on paper should not be able to win this game. What I will say is that at every single World Cup, we've seen it before, there's always one big powerhouse that, you know, thinks they got a chance to win the trophy that implodes, right? We've seen it with Spain, we've seen it with Germany, with France. It does happen. So that's what you're hoping for if you're Canada, is that you can provoke that in what is an older Belgium team. Maybe it's just one tournament too far for them. Do I think it's likely? No, I don't. But that gives you some belief, particularly with the youth of this Canada team, that they can cause, you know, the backline in particular some problems.
Yeah, we've seen Belgium. We saw Croatia. In fact, they were playing again while Canada was in that camp in September, and they were looking good because there's also that sentiment of Luka Modric is old, but he was still commanding the midfield with absolute ease for Croatia. But do you also believe, a lot of people are saying that Canada could be the dark horse of this group? Is this a team that if you are going to, you know, see a surprise, it would in fact be Canada, not Morocco?
Well, they're going to need to be, but Morocco's really good as well. Like Mazraoui, Hakimi, Ziyech, like these are top players. I think on paper, Morocco is better than Canada, at least in terms of, you know, 1 to 11. We know Canada has Davies, so it has that superstar, which maybe Morocco don't quite have, as good as Hakimi is. But in terms of the depth of their lineup and their squad as well, like the players all playing through top leagues at top clubs, like Canada's not the favourite for that game either. So yeah, they're going to need to be the dark horse if they have any chance of getting through this.
And the added part to that is just like, it's our first time. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact, right? Yeah. We're playing against second best ranked team in the world in Belgium.
Right,
and 12th with Croatia. Like, it's a hard group, right? But it's successful. It's a successful result for me going to Belgium, getting a draw. Do you know what I mean? Not playing for a draw, but getting a draw, getting a point, getting your feet wet, and then you can go to Croatia, and who knows what could happen going from there.
But we should say as well, they've just beaten Japan. That's one of Canada's best results in a long time, right? Like, this is a top 30 team in the world. So, you know, that gives you some belief coming out of today's game.
And a little bit fortunate, right? Like, they played it out to the end. We were talking maybe in the 88th minute, I'm like, 1-1 is a great result, but I don't want to say that too early. It hits the post. We get a bit of fortune in terms of getting a penalty, but great move by Larea to be free. But that could happen in a one-game situation, right? So this is what we want.
Yeah. And the players, they're always going to want more. You ask the players what is considered success, they're going to say winning the World Cup, of course. Yeah. But from a fan's perspective, from a pundit perspective, what is considered success?
I think we just want some moments, right? A first goal, a win would obviously be absolutely amazing, but we just want those moments that we can remember, and a team that's competitive against some extraordinarily good sides.
A goal's a milestone, a draw's a milestone, a win's a milestone, right? And 86, none of those things happen, so yeah.
We'll see if they get that. November 23rd, it all begins against Belgium. But we're going to kick off Good Night Qatar, actually the day before the World Cup. So November 19th, join us 9 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be talking all the big storylines. We will be analyzing the games that were played. We will be looking ahead. We will have you covered. We're just going to have a grand old time on Good Night Qatar. So why don't you come and join us nightly, 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on One Soccer and on our One Soccer YouTube channel. Here we go. It's been a year and a half in the making. To qualify, it's been 36 years to get there. Canada will finally be at the World Cup 2022 Qatar. They kick things off November 23rd against Belgium. A 2-1 win here today against Japan. It has been a blast being on this run with you, Canada. Now get the colors out, get the red and white, get the maple leaf. It's time to cheer on your nation.
All right, everybody. That's it for us today. Hope you enjoyed the soft launch of the One Soccer YouTube channel live watch along. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to bring in a lot of bells and whistles as we get closer to the World Cup. Every single match there will be a watch along. I'll be hosting. There'll be all kinds of special guests joining us. Maybe some on Zoom. Maybe we'll get some people joining us.
We've got some CPLers we're reaching out to, so
it's going to be fun. We're definitely looking forward to it. So whoever's going to be sat on there, whoever's going to be on the other side of the screen, not to be determined. I got to pick one and stay in that lane. But anyways, we're very excited for it. Plenty of stickers. I got this book started. I'm going to try and get some more filled out to at least get caught up before Belgium begins. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. And we're just really grateful for, what did we see, over 25,000 joining us today? 26,000. That's fantastic. So thank you all for joining us. It's such a cool time to be in the sport, in the industry right now. Everyone is so excited. Even if you're not like a diehard, I'm going to watch my club every single week, week in, week out. It's got that same Olympic sort of feeling where Canada belongs again, and everyone's just very excited to be there. So thank you. We hope to see you back. I know
still on?
Oliver Plasky. Yes, we're still on. I'm not just talking to myself. I'm not practicing an outro. What are your final thoughts, Ollie? We have a big One Soccer meeting.
Why were you watching the post-game show instead of whatever this is?
We were watching. Thank you very much. Guy gets a polo on, and he thinks he can't miss. Okay, we were going to wrap up, but since you're here, give me letter grade, player of the match, and how you feel differently now after that game than you were before the match started.
I'd say B+. Normally if we beat Japan, I'd give it an A, but I just think because it was kind of experimental and a lot of subs, I'll give it a B+. Player of the game, we picked Junior. I agree with Junior, and I think you kind of know coming out of that what the team is for Belgium. Like
the only question is Steph and Alphonso.
Yeah, injuries, right, and how long Atiba can go. But in terms of performances, like Hoylett for me, got to play. Atiba, we think he's got to play.
Atiba looks good. He's gonna get a century mark in Qatar.
Settled, yeah. Well, let's hope so. So I think that probably settles a few things for John Herdman.
Okay, you're gonna join us for the watch-alongs for some of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He's not gonna. You're not gonna be wearing a suit and a polo though. But hey, Jordan Wilson, come have a seat. We're gonna do this. We were gonna wrap it. I mean, since we got the boys here, let's bring them in. This is veteran broadcaster and professional footballer. I am
veteran.
I am neither of those things.
Oh, don't lie.
I'll ask you the same questions, but you have to give different answers.
Okay.
Okay, so letter grade. Well, you can have the same letter grade. I don't think you remember what Ollie said anyways. Your player of the game, and how do you feel differently now at full time about this team, about the World Cup, than perhaps you did before the match started?
Our player of the game has to be the same. But if I had to choose someone different.
Second best player of the game.
Buchanan. Very, very good today. I think I was saying in my head the whole time that he has to be a guy maybe coming off the bench in terms of just when the game opens up, 60th minute, you put him on, give some tricks, step overs, get in the box, taking on players 1v1. But today you look like, man, start me. Like it's a no-brainer for me. Put him on. He's going to be a guy that we can just release, get pressure, take pressure off of basically our players, get corners, all these things, get fouls. He looked really confident. So I think that move to Club Brugge really gave him that confidence he needs to really catapult him in this tournament.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot then. Tejan came out of nowhere. It was the men's Olympic qualifying. I remember calling that tournament.
Yeah.
And he was a good player, don't get me wrong. It's like this blue chip Syracuse guy starting to do well with the Revolution, but you think about where he's been from that tournament to now. Who do you think can have that kind of rise from this group, from the World Cup? Is it an Alistair Johnston-like player? Is it a player who's already great but can take that next step to maybe even a lead level from this team?
Good question, by the way.
And they have to perform.
So specifically, what is the question you want me to answer? Like
who do you think will be the player?
The biggest riser.
The biggest rise.
See,
stock value, whatever.
Again, Buchanan, I'm rooting for, but just off of the come up of Ismail Kone, it has to be him because if he has a decent matches or decent performances in the World Cup, you're taking a guy that was playing amateur football like 15 months ago.
Yeah.
And then now is representing his country and like doing a darn good job at it. So those two for me are guys that are off the bench I'm looking at, and their stock's in the rise. Well, Ismail Kone, as I said, Buchanan I feel like will start and he's earned that. But Ismail Kone coming off the bench is a very good player you have coming off the bench.
I don't think we gave you stickers. You got to do it.
Jordan's got to do one.
Oh, come on.
W's in the chat for Jordan's suit. W's in the chat for Wilson, of course, and W's in the chat for Ismail Kone. So this, have you not done the stickers before?
Haven't.
Okay, so this every World Cup, Panini is the company, like the sandwich. They do this sticker book. So you draw a pack. There's 5 players in it, and you're trying to theoretically fill out every single team. I think every team gets 18 players.
Okay.
There's like the logo, there's a team picture, and it's just like a sticker book you try and fill in.
Wow.
We got some good ones. So you got to go one by one. I will judge you on your pronunciations. Read it to me, hand it to me. I'll show the camera, and then we'll file it away.
Borna Sosa.
Borna Sosa. It's a Croat.
Ooh. I remember watching him in Denmark. He played for Copenhagen. Daniel Marte, very good player.
Daniel Marte. Nice. Ghanaian.
Ghanaian boy. Okay, we're looking at, now it's getting tricky. Sofiane Boufal.
Sofiane Boufal.
Moroccan, we're going to see him in the final group stage match in December. Can you believe that they're going to be playing in December in like 2 weeks? Disgusting. Although the snow's here and I'm happy about it. Okay, that's
You're
2.
happy about the snow?
Yeah, I'm a big winter guy. My rule is November 12th until the end of March. It can snow all day, every day. And then as soon as April rolls around, go away.
I mean, the March I can agree with, but the November 12th?
Yeah. If you give us an autumn like we had this year in Southern Ontario, where it's like 22 degrees and like the 5th day of November, I'm in.
Fair.
But I also grew up in a small town with snowmobiles and toboggans and outdoor hockey. I run hot, man. I need cool weather to get me through the humid Ontario summers. Enough about me. Who you got next?
Sadar Azmoun.
And Irani.
Oh, Jenkins, we are so kind to you today. My goodness, another one.
Daniel James.
Danny James.
Wow.
He almost doesn't count because he's English born.
0 Canadians. 0 Canadians.
4 Welshmen. Look how handsome this man is, by the way. Good Lord.
He's a good-looking guy.
Wait till I hijack the One Soccer stream
And
to do
super
Welsh
fast.
watch-along.
Welsh watch-alongs.
We'll get Lloydie in here, too. We got editor Holly at One Soccer, who's Welsh. We love it. Wheels, of course, is Welsh. Nice. I've already put them in the book. That's why. All right, man. Thank you. I'm going to bug you a lot during these watch-alongs.
No, I'm going to be here. Not in a suit. Definitely something red and white and something comfortable.
Yeah.
But
do your thing.
We're gonna bring in some Guinness, and we're going to stick it in the fridge. And I don't care if it's 10 a.m., Canada scores a goal. We're cracking that.
I'd rather do tequila shots, but hey.
At 11 a.m.?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Guinness, it's heavy, buddy. I'd rather do the shots. Gents.
Jordan Wilson, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, buddy. And thank you again, chat. I mean, we had a little bit of an extra post-game show after hours on One Soccer. Thank you again. Drop a like if you haven't liked this video already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're going to be doing a ton of these, not just the watch-alongs. And every time I say subscribe to the channel, I get a bonus from Armin. That's a true thing that actually happens. So do it. Subscribe. Thanks, guys. See you next time.